Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Hopefully we are live, up and running. Team news has caught me on the hop. Caught me on the hop, if I'm totally honest. But we will get it all up and running. I hope you're all very well. I hope you're all excited about this game. I've got a couple of theories on this team news that's come out, but let's get this. I know what it's done. Right, team news. As far as I'm aware, it's Lingard and Rashford are playing on the wings. Fellaini doesn't start, which is, I suppose, quite interesting. No Anthony Martial. Didn't expect him to be. Feel very sad about that. Want to talk about that during the show. Luke Shaw makes the bench, and I'm just trying to get you the live comments up because there's no live show without our live comments, and I want it. I like it. Let's have a look what we got. Get the team news up and running for you. I mean, there is a school of thought that we might have missed the trick here, because if I was to ask you, the live comments people, what would you rather win, this game tonight or the league game which we play against them a week's then I think most of us would go for a week's time. So it isn't totally our first team, but it is quite funny in a way that we have gone for what is essentially a strong team when we've got them next week. You know, we could have played it a little bit more tactically, I think, and been a little bit more clever and played a bit of a different team. Okay, team news then. I'm rambling on. Team news: De Gea in goal, Darmian at right back, Phil Jones and Smalling, Marcus Rojo at left back, Michael Carrick. We've rested Carrick for Stoke and wasted 2 points to play him in a game we've already got one. Herrera and Pogba the midfield, so he's playing the midfield that he should have played against Stoke. Lingard on the right, Rashford on the left, Ibrahimovic at front. So I'm quite excited about the width. Lingard and Rashford giving us a little bit of pace and drive on the wings. Mkhitaryan's on the bench with Rooney and Mata, Fosu Mensah, Luke Shaw and Marouane Fellaini. So an interesting lineup. I know Martial will probably cause a few thoughts from you lot. Jose said he would play what he considers his strongest team. This is what Jose thinks. Worrying that. Well, JFO, this isn't our strongest team, and Jose's a liar. And I'll give you one name to prove that he's a liar, because Antonio Valencia's not playing. So there's definitely not our strongest team. And Mkhitaryan would surely be in our strongest team as well. So it's definitely not our strongest team, but it's a decent side. I'm not going to moan about it and say I'm unhappy with it. I'm more excited about the weekend game, and I'll explain that for you now, because I just think the weekend game, this is the opportunity. If he doesn't play Anthony Martial against Wigan at home and Luke Shaw and Schweinsteiger, I mean, where is Schweinsteiger? If he doesn't play these players at the weekend, then there's a big problem at Manchester United, which I want to talk a little bit more about as the show develops, because I am, where's Daley Blind tonight? Where is Schweinsteiger tonight? Why aren't they involved, you could say? But we have got a big squad. No one's going to say where's Ashley Young, because nobody wants him. But we have got a big squad, and we've probably picked a stronger team, which hopefully on Sunday is the game I'm more excited about, because I think we'll hopefully see Luke Shaw starting. We'll hopefully see Anthony Martial starting. We'll hopefully see a bit of Schweinsteiger as well. So yeah, this is what it is. I'm excited that we see Rashford, albeit he's not playing in the position we all want him to play. But Fosu Mensah on the bench. Be nice to see a little bit of him. Not always on the bench. Actually, I must just mention that. Apparently 5 clubs want Fosu Mensah on loan, but Jose Mourinho has said no. Maybe we'll see Twansibi at the weekend. We certainly were not going to see him tonight. I don't know why anybody would think that was a likelihood, because I really didn't think that we would see him. Rooney on the bench, I thought we'd see him. Maybe he will start at the weekend. So it's an interesting lineup, I think, and the team that he selected was always going to be, if he'd gone one the other way, it might have just given a little bit of a hint to the opposition that they've got a chance, but I don't see it that way now. I think we've got this game well and truly won. I'm just trying to think who else is on the bench. Let me get that up for you, because there is somebody else to go on. But the team news is on the bottom of your screen there now. There's somebody else on the bench who names forgive me, Rooney, Mata, Mkhitaryan. It's Luke Shaw, isn't it? Yeah, of course, Luke Shaw's on the bench, which I think we welcome him back. That's a good thing, isn't it? Good to have Luke Shaw back. But where is Ashley Young, says Daniel Sherrod. I was only joking. We need to sell him, says Austin. Young wants to go on loan. Mark, do you think Andres Pereira can be a versatile player at United? Yes, I do. Shaka Phillips. Ibra should be out the team and play Rashford up front. Yeah, you know what? I'd rather Rashford didn't start tonight and played up front on Sunday. I'd rather Rashford didn't play and you played like a Wayne Rooney tonight, because I want to see Rashford up front. That's where he should play. But he should cause a few problems for Hull tonight, and I think United in general will win this game. I don't really want to hark back to Stoke because it just winds me up every time I think about it, but we are playing the midfield three that we should have played against Stoke, which I think is funny. Lawrence Samuel says, where is Martial? Where is Martial? Is a good question. But first of all, just before I talk about anything else, I must sort this out for you. If you've been playing the £10 to £100 challenge that we have been doing, you need to get on this very, very quickly, even if you're starting again, because we are currently on £82 and we will hit £100 tonight. It's been a fantastic journey. It doesn't end here. I did it 10 to 100 because I knew I'd get 100. We'll go for, well, the money starts to double up the higher you get. So I'll go for 1,000 next. I'm going to be careful, but we have done a bet every game, and my bet tonight is Manchester United to win the game outright. You can get that at odds of 1.53 decimal. So if you're putting a tenner on, you will win £5.30 back. That is a very good odd for Manchester United to win this game. I would jump on it as quick as you can. There's still just under an hour till the game. Jump on the bet. How do you do it? Well, our bets are done through Leo Vegas. The link is in the video description. Get yourself signed up now. Bet Manchester United to win the game. And if you're on the £10 to £100 challenge, get on it because we go over £100 tonight. But we'll keep going. And if you want to just start this week, I'll get you up to 100 quid. I'm going to be very, very careful with it, and we will win the money. So it is Manchester United to win the game outright. Go to the link in the video description, sign up your account, and go for Manchester United to win this game at 1.53. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you don't often get Manchester United to win at such good odds. We will win the game tonight. Day one is watching from India. Hello and welcome. Yes, I do want to touch a little bit about this while the team news is obviously going on the bottom. Let's just go through the team news for a moment. It isn't our strongest team. Somebody just said there that Jose said that this is his strongest team. It isn't his strongest team, and I'll tell you why for one very, very quickly. Martial obviously dropped again. De Gea in goal. And we've got Darmian at right back, which is the obvious one. I mean, I feel sad. I've got Anthony Martial on my image for this game, and he's not even going to play. But yeah, Darmian at right back. So obviously Valencia is the first choice. So it's not his strongest team at all. Rojo's playing at left back. Smalling and Jones are the centre backs. Maybe that's his first choice centre back pair. Not played Rojo for a while, has he? Midfield three of Carrick, Herrera and Pogba. I would hope that's his midfield three and his number one midfield three. Lingard on the right, Rashford on the left, Zlatan up front. The substitutes are made up of Romero, Luke Shaw, Fosu Mensah, Maran Fellaini, Juan Mata, and Wayne Rooney, and Mkhitaryan's on the bench as well. So a good mix, a good team, and we expected a strong team. And I would look forward to, from that lineup, what am I looking forward to? I suppose the most exciting things is, because I really do feel that this game is won, the most exciting points to this are going to be the width, Lingard and Rashford. I don't think Rashford's a left winger by any means, but hopefully he can get a goal or two, because I really want him to play well. And Lingard, it'd be interesting to see Lingard. I think Lingard had a good first half against West Brom just before Christmas and has been pretty poor since then. But hopefully he can have a good game tonight, especially with that midfield three, who need to get their confidence back, because the last time they played together was Liverpool, and obviously he took Carrick off at half-time. So yeah, my excitement from the game comes from watching Manchester United, obviously, but I'll be looking at Rashford and Lingard. And on the bench, I'd like to see a little bit of Luke Shaw. I'd like to see a bit of Fosu Mensah. Whether we'll see either of those, I don't know, because he's obviously going to bring Rooney on at some point. He always does. And I would suspect he'll probably bring Fellaini on at some point as well, because he always does. But hopefully one of the others will be that. But it's interesting. It is very interesting at the moment. I want to talk about Anthony Martial. I want to get your thoughts on this. Anthony Martial, let's have a look at the stats on this, because I did tweet this out before. And let's have a look. So I tweeted out at about 4 o'clock off the main Manchester United Stand account. Where do you stand? Is Jose Mourinho right to publicly criticise Anthony Martial? We had nearly 2,000 votes on it. 43% of you said yes, 57% said no. So the majority are saying it isn't right to publicly do this. Now, we know Jose Mourinho has done this with Luke Shaw. We know he's done it with Martial a couple of times, publicly criticising young players. However, Everton away, we were going to win that game 1-0. Anthony Martial was sensationally man of the match. He was superb in that game. He set Zlatan up. He was fantastic. We forget it because a clown came on and gave a penalty in the last minute. His name was Marouane Fellaini. What did Mourinho do after the game? He commended him. He defended him. Then, over Christmas, Martial played against Borough. Played fantastically well. Next week, he's not in the game. Last couple of weeks ago, we played Liverpool. Anthony Martial up against an inexperienced Liverpool right-back making his debut, and Martial was taken off after 65 minutes. Today, over the last couple of days, Jose Mourinho has come out and said that he wasn't selected against Stoke because he didn't grab the opportunity against Liverpool with both hands. What is effectively a nice way of saying he was crap against Liverpool. Now, I stand up for Anthony Martial on this because I disagree. We all watched that game. Liverpool... Right, they could have played me at right back and Martial would not have caused me a problem for the simple reason everybody who watched that game, Anthony Martial did not have a bad game. What happened is every time he got the ball, he had 5 players on him. How is that a failing of Anthony Martial to not take an opportunity when every time he got the ball, he had 5 players round him? It's the responsibility of Carrick, Herrera and Pogba to move the ball around enough so that they can expose that right back and pull Liverpool players away from Martial. But we all know what happened in that game. Paul Pogba and Ander Herrera didn't have a very good game. And in particular Pogba, because he's the left-sided midfielder, he failed Anthony Martial because he held on to the ball for too long. He played rubbish 5-yard passes. He had a very, very bad game. I don't know what Anthony Martial was supposed to do in that game when the ball was being moved so slowly by our midfield that by the time he got it, he had 4 or 5 players on him. I don't know why... And I don't think he had a particularly bad game. He didn't have a good game either. But I think it was very unfair to judge him off that. And effectively, Paul Pogba had a worse game than Martial in that game. I don't think Pogba was fantastic against Stoke either, but he never gets criticised. Certain players don't get criticised, certain players do. I understand that, but I think he's getting this wrong. And I'm wondering if there is an issue with dealing with young players and a fear of challenging experienced players, because let's not forget, I'm a massive Jose Mourinho fan. He's the right manager for Manchester United and I'm comfortable that we will win trophies, but my fear is that we may lose some very good talent, youth talent from Manchester United because of his inability to deal with youth talent. He's never done it in his whole career. He let De Bruyne go from Chelsea, he let Lukaku go from Chelsea, that's to name 2, and he never really uses the youth. Now Anthony Martial is still a youth player. He's only 20 years of age. I think he's just turned 21. And Luke Shaw, again, a very young player. They've not come through the youth setup, but they're young players. And I just think everybody in life is dealt with differently. Some people need an arm around their shoulder. Some people respond to being publicly shamed, like Shaw and Martial have. But for me, from the outside looking in, and I'm not inside, but Martial's been told off a few times in public over the 3 or 4 months that Mourinho's been here, and he's not responded to it. He seems to me to be quite a withdrawn, quiet lad. And that would suggest to me and a lot of fans that he needs an arm around his shoulder, which he's not getting. Again, with Luke Shaw, he doesn't seem like he's not the Memphis side. He seems like quite a quiet lad, just wants to go out of his business. I would say he probably needs an arm around his shoulder. But Mourinho seems to want to go down this publicly criticise them route, and I'm not sure it's right. And I have a fear that he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to youth players. And I hope I'm proven wrong, but Martial and Shaw are not the players that, I know people are saying, oh, they've got bad attitudes. Where are you hearing this from? Where has that been said by anybody? They don't have bad attitude. Well, they might have, but it's not common knowledge. It's not been fed out by the club. It's media and it's fans making up they must have a bad attitude. That's not necessarily the case. Everyone assumed Memphis had a bad attitude. Mourinho came out and said he didn't. So I think it's unfair to say these things like, well, if he's got a bad attitude, let him go. No one's bigger than the club. We don't know that at the moment. All we know is that there is some issue, and Mourinho feels he has to publicly criticise them. I don't like players being publicly criticised anyway. I must say that. I don't like it. I didn't like it when Louis van Gaal did it about Valdez last year. I don't like it. And maybe that's because the majority of my footballing life, Sir Alex Ferguson's been the manager, the best manager ever, and he wouldn't criticise players publicly. So I don't like it anyway. I don't think it's working out that well. And I just have a fear that he's doing it publicly with the youth players because the youth players will not have the dressing room to cause him any issues. Last season, he did it publicly with some senior players at Chelsea. He lost the dressing room and he lost his job. And I'm just wondering if there is some truth in that he's not taking a pop at the senior pros because he's fearful of what will happen to the dressing room. So he's taking it out on the younger players. A theory. I back Mourinho. I hope he can turn it around. But I don't want to see Anthony Martial or Luke Shaw leaving the club, and that's my personal opinion. What time is the game, anyone? It's slightly earlier. It's 45 minutes. If Mad Marcus is on the live comments, I want to see his comment because I was hoping he was going to come on. Zlatan saying, dude, chill. Martial's had lots of chances. It's easy to talk without knowing what's happening in the training. Zlatan, you make a good point, but you're falling into the myth again. People have thrown this myth. You know what? I always say this, and I'm never right. I'm never saying I'm always right. I'm just giving an opinion, and that's what the United Stand is about. But and there's somebody else who's against me on this, so I'll come up with that as well. You're falling into the myth bag again. You're falling into the myth bag that Martial's had loads of chances this season and been poor. He hasn't. He had a poor start to the season. He was our man of the match against Everton just over a month ago. He was fantastic against Middlesbrough, which was at Christmas. And when he played against Liverpool, he wasn't bad. He just had 5 players on him. I challenge anybody. I think there's a myth going round that he's had a bad season, and he hasn't. He had a bad start. So did Wayne Rooney. So did a lot of other players. They're still part of the first team setup. I think. I just wonder whether his agents caused a lot of problems. His agents' comments were idiotic a month ago when he said, Martial, maybe Sevilla's a good move for him. That might be an issue behind closed doors, and I think Mourinho needs to stamp that out. I'm not saying I know what's happening, but what I'm saying is I don't like what's happening. I don't like publicly having a go at players. I don't like it that it's youth players that we are quite excited about. Luke Shaw should be our left back. Anthony Martial should be our left winger. At the moment, they aren't. Mr. PC says, I'm against you on this, Mark. Mourinho also criticised Smalling and Shaw. Now they are both getting back to the 11, so I think Mourinho is doing this. And he did use Mkhitaryan as well. He did, you're right, he did. But I think some players get a free ride and some don't. And it tends to be the more senior pros. I mean, Chris Smalling's mid-20s, isn't he? Mkhitaryan's mid-20s, He hasn't publicly had a go at Rooney. He didn't have a go at Fellaini for that mistake against Everton. He's not had a go at Mata last week, which I'm not saying I think people are falling into a trap here. I'm not saying he should be having a go at these players. I defended Mata on Sunday and went, rubbish game. He had a rubbish game. He scored the own goal. He missed an open goal. You could say he cost us the game, but Mata's a fantastic professional footballer, and you have an off day. I don't believe in managers of a football club should not be publicly coming out having a go at their players. They shouldn't do it. It stinks of ego, and they shouldn't do it. They should keep it in-house. We don't need to know, and the media certainly don't need to know. You should not be feeding negativity about your own player to that media, because the media, we all know what the media are like, and that shouldn't happen. It should be kept in-house. It's good that I suppose some people like it because but I don't like it. Aiden says Martial would have a good season if Jose didn't always drop him. I was shocked when Martial didn't get picked against Stoke, because I thought he had a hard game against Liverpool, a hard hour where he was more than ganged up on by 4 or 5 Liverpool players every time he got the ball. I thought he'd start against Stoke. He wasn't even in the squad. And looking back on it, I said it at half-time in the game, this game was made for Anthony Martial. There was so much space in it, he would have killed him. But pulled out of the squad. Managers don't get it right all the time, and I think that's something you should always remember. I certainly don't get it right. You certainly don't get it right, and managers don't get it right all the time. We are 6th in the league. Let's not forget. Mourinho hasn't got everything right this season. I back him, and 100%. But he has made mistakes this year. Not playing Michael Carrick till November. Now these are all mistakes that are fine because it's part of the building process, but let's not assume that every decision he makes is right. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson, the best sporting manager there's ever been, he still bought Jemba Cleverson and Bellion. The mistakes will be made. So just don't. My advice in life, in anything, is don't always just go along with it. And I'm sure when you're listening to me, you're not just going along with it. And that's exactly how it should be. You should have an opinion. Chris Pashi says, throwing your players under the bus by calling them out is the quickest way to lose the locker room. that's sort of what I was probably badly trying to get at, Chris, that I think at the moment he's trying to exert his authority because Mourinho has an ego, and that is good. It's good to have an ego, but I think he's trying to exert his ego by picking on the younger players or the weaker-minded players, because apparently Chris Smalling's a bit weak-minded, I don't know. And Mkhitaryan, obviously, we knew that he was struggling when he came over, and he was accused of being weak-minded. And then you've got Martial and Luke Shaw, who, again, I'm not saying they're weak-minded, but they're quiet characters. They're easy targets for Mourinho to stretch his muscles and show his ego off. Would he have a pop at Carrick? Would he have a pop at Rooney? Would he have a pop at Mata and lose the Spanish contingent of Herrera and De Gea? I think he's learned his lessons from Chelsea, and I don't want him to make those mistakes. But maybe he needs to just shut his mouth a little bit and stop doing it to the more vulnerable players to try and flex his ego in the media. He doesn't need to do it. Sir Alex Ferguson did it a different way. Jake Roper says Memphis to start. Dave Beddoe says 3-1 to United. I think, Mark, let's talk about the team. And the team's going along the bottom for you now, so you'll hear it. De Gea in goal, Darmian, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Marcus Rojo, Michael Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, the midfield, the best midfield. Why didn't we play it against Stoke? Lingard on the right, Rashford on the left, Zlatan up front. The exciting aspects for me, we've won this game. So if we'd picked our first team, I'd have been a little bit bored because what do we learn? What do we learn? So at least Rashford and Lingard, they're what I'm looking at. Let's use the width. Slightly concerned. The bench, just very quickly, Romero, Luke Shaw, Fosu Mensah. I hope we see both of those two. Fellaini, Rooney, Mkhitaryan, Mata. So no Schweinsteiger. I don't know what's going on there. He's on the bench against Stoke. Not on the bench today. No Daley Blind, no Valencia. I think he's being rested. I would hope we'll see them on. I'm more excited about the Sunday game. I've said that for the late joiners. I'm more excited about the Sunday game because surely we will see people like Schweinsteiger, Luke Shaw starting, maybe even Twansibi on the bench, Fosu Mensah, Martial, dare I say it, Rashford up front. I'm more excited about that than I am tonight, because tonight, this game's over. It's 2-0. We're better than Hull anyway, even if it was 0-0. We've picked a strong team. My only slight concern is, and I said this at the very start, if you were offered this, remember we can lose this game and still go through. So we're 2-0 up. We're playing Hull at home in 6 days' time in the Premier League. What is the more important game to win? Because for me, it's the Premier League next week. So I'm slightly surprised that we've gone with such a strong, our first choice midfield, Zlatan, because are we not just giving them a little bit of a dress rehearsal for the game next week, which we need to win? I'd have mixed it up a little bit more. I maybe would have not played Zlatan and played Rashford up front. I maybe would have not played Pogba, Herrera and Carrick, and I might have thrown Schweinsteiger in instead of Herrera. Just to mix up a couple of key positions that doesn't give Hull a dress rehearsal for next week. But we should still be blowing them away, but we said that about Burnley and Stoke at home, didn't we? Davak says you complain so much. It's not complaining, mate. It's not complaining. It's called like critiquing and discussing and thinking about what you're thinking. You know, what do you want me to do? It'd be a very short show if I went, oh yeah, I agree with absolutely everything. Let's wait for kickoff. Fantastic. I love it. There's nothing wrong with that team at all. There's nothing wrong with it. I've got no thoughts on that team. I've got no thoughts on what I might have done differently. I've got no thoughts about what might be going on about the club. No, I'm just a bend over boy. Whatever Mourinho does, I'll just bend over and take it. I'm absolutely quiet. Now, let's just sit in silence and wait for the kickoff. Yeah, I'm sure we'd be really, really doing well as a United fan channel if we had that sort of take-up. Stupid lineup, says FIFA Pro. Darmian starting, Rooney on the bench, and Mkhitaryan too. I'd like to see Rooney start, but yeah, again, I don't know. I don't understand. But Mark, just Abhishek Das says, Mark, you just masturbate around in YouTube shows and you haven't gone to Old Trafford once. You know when you start reading a comment, you've given somebody a bit of airtime. Oh well, at least his mum and dad have got a night off. Back to school tomorrow, Abhishek, and I bet I have been to Old Trafford plenty of times. In fact, if you actually watch the channel and follow the United Stand, which you clearly don't, you'll have seen we've been to Old Trafford plenty of times. But what I would also say is there's a hell of a lot of people who watch the Watchalongs who don't live in the UK and don't go to Old Trafford. So you are telling probably a few hundred people who are listening to this show now, Abhishek Das, that not going to Old Trafford means you're not a Manchester United fan. You silly, silly little boy. How you've been ridiculed and nullified live on the United Stand with such an ignorant and bigoted view that you have to go to Old Trafford to be a real fan. Tut tut, you're probably one of those people who think we shouldn't be increasing it for disabled people as well. You sad, sad little person. With Louis van Gaal, Man United was not attacking. Now it is everything, says Haraz. Man United to win 3-1, says Squidward. Come on United, says Aaron Edens. And Mark, would you sell Darmian, says Shaka Phillips. In the summer I would. And let's have a look. Thoughts on Mourinho looking for Lindelof, says Jack. Well, transfers are interesting. What's going on with the transfers? I would have bought a couple of players, but there we go. Mad Marcus says try sitting in silence. Marcus, get on Skype and we'll get you on actually, because I was hoping you were going to pop on because I wanted to ask you a little bit of a question. So let me know when you're on and we'll get you to come on and give you your thoughts, because it just frees me up a little bit to do a couple of other things I want to. The United Stand, right, you know what I'll say very quickly about the United Stand. I know that there is another football channel out there, and I know that they speak to fans out the ground after the match, and I think that's fantastic. It's brilliant. I would never copy it. The United Stand would never copy it because somebody else does it. Why copy it? What the United Stand is, for those people who think there's some bitterness or rivalry, I detest, abhor United fans arguing with each other. I think it shows real lack of class, immaturity, bitterness. Why do it? We all support the same club. Basically, you're arguing to be a better fan, of which I disagree with. I don't think there's no such thing as better fan. If you're a Manchester United fan, you're part of the Manchester United family. The club certainly think that, and so do we on the United Stand. And a lot of you will be watching from all around the world. What is the United Stand? In essence, we are the global United fan channel. We are the fan channel that tries to unite the global support, whether it's UK, Ireland, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, America, Mexico, wherever you are. You are part of the United family, and that's what we try to welcome the United Stand. We will never, ever demean you or tell you are not a United fan because you don't go to games, you don't go to Old Trafford or anything like that, because it's ridiculous. It's a silly comment. Wall-to-wall United you can watch now. You don't need to go to games. It's a great experience. I've always said watching a match live is better than watching it on the TV. You could spend 10 minutes just watching Michael Carrick off the ball. We don't get that love to do that on the TV. Remember when you could, the player cam, you could just follow any player you wanted to. But so yeah, that's what the United Stand is. So if you've come on here to have a pop at the United Stand or to try and argue who's better or this, that and the other, you're at the wrong place. Everyone's welcome. Even fans from other clubs get involved on here, and as long as you can take a little bit of rivalry, a bit of banter, and the fact that I don't like Liverpool, but Liverpool fans are welcome, and I will join in the banter. That's what it's all about. Life is for having a bit of fun, having a bit of banter. We're all passionate about football, but I draw a line at the hate. Ridiculous. And Mad Marcus will ban you. So let's get on with it and enjoy it, because we are all United fans, and there are even some in here who love the show as well who aren't. Remember to drop a like on the video, because your watch-along comments are going to be massively helpful when it comes to the kickoff. And also, somebody just mentioned it on the live comments there, and I must repeat it. It's a big night for the United Stand. Well, it's a big night for me, I suppose. We started the £10 to £100 challenge in January, the start of January. We're on £82, and tonight, when the bet comes in, we will go to 117. Because the bigger it gets, the bigger your money gets. So we'll go to £117 tonight based on this bet. So I'm going to carry it on. I wanted to get you to £100, and what I would say is if you are on the £10 to £100 challenge at full time tonight, I'll tell you what to do. Take your tenner out that you put in, so you've got your money back, and we'll carry on from £107. But if you haven't started it yet, start it, because we're going to carry on. I'm going to use the same tactics I've used all before. It's going to be patiently, one bet every Manchester United game, getting slowly moving it up. We could end up with 1,000 out of this. So even if you're just starting it, you can still start it. And the great thing is, we do our odds through Leo Vegas. The video description has got the sign up offer there, so you can even join in now. And your first two bets, they double it anyway. So tonight's bet to get on is Manchester United to win the game. The odds are 1.53. So if you put a fiver on it, you would get about £2.50 back. They would double that for you. So a fiver, you win a fiver. So sign up, get on it, start the £10 to £100 challenge. Obviously, we started it a few weeks ago, but it doesn't matter where you start it, because as long as we keep winning, you'll still keep building it up. And if you are on it, get on Manchester United to win the game, 1.53. And also, I must just say, whether you want to be on the £10 to £100 challenge or not, if you sign up on the Leo Vegas offer in the video description, you will go into our prize draw for £100 cash on January the 31st, which is transfer deadline day, Wednesday. On the show, we will be announcing a winner of £100 cash. And all you've got to do is sign up with Leo Vegas, put a £5 bet on, and you're in the draw. Get on it. And definitely get on Manchester United to win at 1.53 and win yourself some money. Because some people, after this game, will have won £100 thanks to me. You can give me a tip. You can put your tips in the post. No, I'm only joking. I'm more than happy to help you out. You know, I'm not bad at it. And I don't go mad. I don't go chasing silly odds. I try and keep it sensible. And for those who've been watching, you will know. If you could bring back one United legend, who would it be, Jack Delnan? Out of curiosity, Duncan Edwards, because of what my granddad told me. For sheer talent, George Best. I'd love to just see George Best. Yeah. But, having said that, I think Manchester United really miss a captain, and there's nobody better than Roy Keane. So, we're spoiled at Manchester United. You could say so many people. So many people. Right, let's have a look what is going on. So, the team news is in. We know about that. Let's have a look at Marcos. Let's get him on. Marcus, can you hear me?
Hi, mate, you alright?
I'm very well. Give us your thoughts on the team news then.
I quite like it, actually. I'm glad he's gone nearly full strength. Pleased to see Darmian playing in his proper position. I assume Rashford's going to play out on the left wing.
Yeah.
And Lingard out on the right. Smalling, yeah, okay. I suppose Bailey's not fully, back fit enough yet for it. It's come too soon for him. Carrick is the one that's interested me. Like you said earlier, dropping him for the Stoke game and then playing him for this. I mean, did he see this game as a bit more importance than the game against Stoke?
Yeah, well, I picked up on that myself. I mean, a mistake, I think, but it is what it is. We've got to move on from the Stoke debacle. But yeah, a lot of people sort of thought, oh, maybe we've gone and rested him. I don't understand it, but there we go.
No, it's a bit of a strange one. I actually thought he would have gone for Herrera, Pogba, and possibly Mata as the number 10. But he's changed his mind. He's gone for Carrick. You could give a shout as well. Tonight's game would have been a good opportunity for Fosu Mensah.
Well, he's on the bench, isn't he? He's on the bench, which is I suppose, well, it is helpful. And funnily enough, I was just tweeting out there. I really hope that we do see Fosu Mensah or Luke Shaw at some point in this game, because we get 1-0 up. That's 3 goals. They're not going to come back from that. You don't learn anything from seeing Fellaini or Rooney. No,
you don't. But I mean, it's I suppose he's gone for a tried and tested side. Like I said last night on the show, if Hull get the first goal, then I mean, to them it's game on. Their tails are up. They'll come at United, and it'll be up to United to get the next one to finish the game off.
Yeah, definitely. What's your score prediction? Do you think Hull have got any? I mean, we've been a bit disrespectful in this, but you know me, I just don't think, looking at that team as well. I mean, I think he could have gone a little bit more experimental and still won it. But that team, there's no way that team's going to get beat by Hull by more than 1 goal.
No, I don't think so. But I think that's why he's gone for it. I mean, there's always, no matter who you play, it's there's always going to be a bit of doubt in every manager's mind that there's a risk of slipping up. And the worst thing you want to do, I think, from his point of view, is to throw away a 2-goal lead and be so close to a final that you don't want it basically to come back and bite him in the arse. So I don't see them getting more than 1 if they do score. But if they score first, it'll make for an interesting game, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. In relation to Anthony Martial, I will get your opinions on that, because now a lot of people are on about it. What's your thoughts on Anthony Martial and his potential future at Manchester United?
I think if he doesn't play in the next, if he definitely doesn't play in the FA Cup, then I think that could be possibly the end of him. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a bit of a pattern here with the people that are going out the door. The players that are going out are LVG signings, aren't they?
Yeah.
So is this a thing where he's coming in and saying, look, I'm the boss. You're going to play on merit, not name, and you got to perform to the standards that Sir Alex Ferguson left with, instead of the mediocre of Moyes and LVG. So I think he's trying to re-establish that. What's the word? He's trying to get us back up to where certain players come to United that are good, that are decent, that are worthy of playing for the club, for the badge, for the shirt. And I don't think he wants to waste money just on, the likes of getting players just for the sake of it.
I mean, let's not forget here that I'm concerned about Martial. I am concerned because I like him a lot, and I think he is. Somebody said this week he's a potential Ballon d'Or winner. Well, that is a big step. He is potentially a top-class player. And I do think we're falling into myth category because it's very easy to do it. And I fell into that category with Memphis because I think Memphis blew an opportunity and never did anything in a Manchester United shirt. It's very unfair to start chucking Anthony Martial into that thing. I think without Anthony Martial last year, we don't win the FA Cup. We'd probably finish mid-table. He was without head and shoulders our best outfield player last year. When people such as Rooney, Carrick, Herrera, Mata, for various reasons, they were unable to establish a footing or any sort of form in a shirt for Manchester United last year, whereas Martial did, and he deserves a lot of credit for that as a 19-year-old as well. Unbelievable. This year, all those other players are doing well. He's struggling, but it's mythical to say he's been poor. He was fantastic against Everton away in December. We only forget about it because of Fellaini's mess up at the end. He was fantastic against Borough. He didn't have a bad game against Liverpool. He was just being absolutely swamped by Liverpool players because we were moving the ball too slow. Again, that wasn't his fault. But what I would say is that we don't know what is going on in relation to his agent has made bad comments. We don't know how hungry he is to achieve anything at Manchester United. Some modern day footballers, they've had everything on a plate. They're not hungry. So I'm not speculating. I will not speculate against Anthony Martial because I think he deserves more respect. He has done a lot in the Manchester United shirt. And he's done stuff this season, and people seem to want to forget that. But last year especially. So we can't just wipe that away. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. He deserves a chance. And I really hope he gets one.
Yeah, I agree to a point. But, I mean, if you look at, depending on what goes on in training, we can all say it could be an attitude problem. But there's not much difference of age here between him and Rashford. So you can look deeper into it and say because he's from France, maybe the attitude of it is completely different to what the English side of it. I don't know. But, I mean, you can make
a better footballer than Rashford.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might think so. I don't. I think Rashford's better.
But no, this was asked. This is the thing. This was asked in the summer, and everyone said Martial. And now, because it's flavour of the month to, everyone say Rashford, and they turn their back on Martial. That's what I'm frustrated about a little bit. Is the way how flippant fans are that they just turn their back on somebody who actually, let's not forget, is a very young man who has been publicly criticised, which I disagree with on any manager to do it. And I think the fans should support him until we know what the truth is. And we don't know what the truth is at the moment. All we know is that Mourinho came out and said he missed his opportunity against Liverpool. Well, I don't know what Mourinho's trying to get at there. Is he trying to say that fans are blind? Because we all watched that game. He didn't miss an opportunity. What are you supposed to do when you've got 5 players around you? Lionel Messi would have struggled with those tactics. So there's obviously more to it, but we don't know what that is. But I just think he epitomises exactly what Manchester United should be doing. Ashley Young, he's in his 30s, he's on a lot of money, get rid of him. The same goes for a couple of other players. But Anthony Martial, 21 years of age or 20 years of age, fantastic talent. If Mourinho thinks having a go at him publicly is going to bring the best out of him, then I'll applaud it when it happens. But I'm just slightly concerned that we seem to be doing this too much with our younger players.
Well, he's tried it with... he did it with Mkhitaryan, didn't he? slated him in public. He slated Mata as well last week, and then all of a sudden he's dropped. He's on the bench.
Smalling as well, but he's
Smalling.
Way back in.
Yeah,
Schweinsteiger. He's not in today, is he?
Well, no, but I mean, he's come back. He got his head down, done the hard work, and got his way back into the team. So I mean, it can be done. But I mean, maybe he just doesn't see Martial as a hard-working, knuckle-down, get-on-with-your work sort of person. But the only way you're going to get that is by learning. And Jose's got to realise that he is still a kid and needs time to adjust.
I think it's a very, very interesting thing, and I think a lot of fans are starting getting involved in the live comments. There, it's that Manchester United is different to Chelsea by a long way. We've got class, we've got history, and I would argue we've got the majority of our fans are very well educated in the way the club works, and it's not. Success is important, but success at a price is not what we want. You know, we do stand for something, and Anthony Martial last year, as a 19-year-old lad, was a sensation, and we want that to continue. So it's not as easy as the manager's coming in and going, I don't fancy him, he goes, and we all just go, yeah, good one, Jose. Some fans will, some fans won't, and I don't think he can just get away with that. That's the sort of mentality, you know. It's not backing Mourinho to say this, because every other club he's been to is mercenary, whether it's Chelsea or Real Madrid. He goes in there, their fans don't care about players being sold to get new players in. You know, Juan Mata was a fan favourite at Chelsea. They hardly shed a tear because they're like, oh yeah, we'll buy some other new toy now. But at Manchester United, we're very different to that. It's like, you can't just come in and go, yeah, I don't like those toys much, I'll go and buy a load of new ones. Because those toys that you're going to get rid of, you know, Memphis, it's easy. Yeah, it's sad, but it's easy because he didn't do anything. But people like Anthony Martial, if you got rid of him, or a Juan Mata, let's say, they're players that actually they have a bit of a history with us, albeit quite a recent history. But they are liked by the fans. And getting rid of a Martial and bringing in, I don't know, a Willian, it's not going to work. Getting rid of a Mata and bringing in, I don't know, say an Oscar, you know, and then he's going to China, it's not going to work. Getting rid of Herrera and bringing in Matic, we're not going to like that. And I think I hope he understands that, because it's not just as simple as, I can't be bothered to work it out with them, I don't think it's going to work out, so they go. You've got to take into account the history. It's the history of the club, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we as Manchester United and as fans, we don't want a reputation of what the other clubs have. You know, like you say, the Chelseas and, you know, even Arsenal to an extent as well. You know, I mean, they treat their players like absolute garbage. So, yeah, I wouldn't want a reputation like that at all. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Mourinho, he's still learning, I think, as Manchester United manager. He's still trying to get his head around, you know, his best team. He still doesn't know it. I mean, to me, anyway, he still doesn't know it. But he's making really baffling choices with selections for certain games. And I don't understand. We know he's got this love for the League Cup. But to us, is it important as fans? I don't know. I mean, I'm one of those people, as you know, if we were in it, we might as well go on to win it if we can. And, you know, get our best squad out whenever we can. But he's, the Martial thing, you would think that he would be in the squad. But, yeah, it's a surprise he's not, considering Lingard's in there.
Yeah, I didn't actually expect him to be in the squad today, if I'm totally honest. I just think there's something going on. But I think there's a very good point from people saying, well, you don't really know what's going on. And that would be 100% the truth. Yeah. My sort of reading of it is that we're not selling him. That's not the problem. No. I think it's more about giving him some tough love to make him work harder. And if that works out, we'll all say it really worked out very well. But my only concern, I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit, just to say that, you know, we've tried this 2 or 3 times this season, and I don't necessarily think his form is bad. But what am I to say?
I mean, I think so. Going back to the Liverpool game, where, I mean, like you say, he's got 4 or 5 players on him. I mean, you could argue that maybe some of his decision making at the time was not ideal, I mean, we spoke about it with Pogba against Stoke, holding on to the ball too long, not releasing it quick enough, making the wrong sort of passes. But I mean, Martial, from what I saw on the Liverpool game, when he's got the 3 or 4 players, he's looking to go past them. The better option is to pass it back. Keep hold of possession, find another way through.
Yeah. But in fairness, and I will defend Martial on this, he wasn't worse than Pogba, and Pogba was the problem because Pogba was just so slow, lethargic in that game and kept giving him slow ball that by the time he was getting the ball, he did have 4 or 5 players in front of him. We just didn't move the ball around quick enough in that game. But Rick H says this was the one issue that I had with United hiring Mourinho, the lack of youth progress. I think that is something that we will keep revisiting during the season, because you could argue that the youth this season, even the established youth, that's the scary thing, isn't it? We hoped that Fosu Mensah, Twansibi would be involved this year. They haven't been really. And on top of that, the established players, and you could argue Fosu Mensah established himself last year because he was man of the match away to Tottenham. The established youth players have slipped back as well. Martial, who was established, probably first name on the sheet last season, not even getting in the team much this year. Rashford, burst on the scene last year, not getting a sniff up front this year. Fosu Mensah, I said, he played a few games last year. He's being treated like a youth prospect again. It's good if he gets on the bench. So it is something to level at Mourinho, and I do think he needs to be held accountable for it by the fans. It's not saying we don't back Mourinho. It's just saying, hold up a bit, Jose. We are about the youth at Manchester United. You have got youth players that are good enough. You've got to play them, and hopefully he will start to do it, please. Billy Thornton says, what's the team news? Well, the team is David De Gea in goal. It's Darmian at right back. Jones and Smalling as centre-backs, Rojo left-back, Carrick, Carrera, Pogba at midfield, Zlatan up front, Lingard on the right, Rashford on the left, and the bench is Romero and Luke Shaw, Fosu Mensah, Fellaini, Rooney, Mata, Mkhitaryan. So it's a strong squad. I mean, if you're looking for it, I think this game is won. We're 2-0 up. So I would like to be excited. The players that excite me are probably Lingard, Rashford, Luke Shaw and Fosu Mensah, 2 of which are on the bench. So hopefully we'll see them a little bit more, Marcus. But what's exciting you about this game, other than the fact that it's Manchester United playing? What you're looking at?
I'm looking at hopefully Luke Shaw getting on and getting some minutes, because I think a lot of his problems is mentality. I think he's worried possibly, when you suffer an injury like that, you're always dubious about going in for your next tackle in case it happens again. So I'm hoping he does get on, he does get some minutes, he gets back to what he was, hopefully. I mean, now the Memphis saga is all done and he's gone. So hopefully now he can get back on track and, get that horrific injury out of his mind and concentrate back on his football.
And what would your score prediction be?
Well, I'm going to say 3-1 to United. I do think Hull will score though.
Yeah, I'm obviously going for a Manchester United win. I think it's absolutely inevitable. I think the one thing I would have said, if he'd gone with a slightly weaker side, which I would like to have seen us do, I think we would have won the game anyway. But I think the minute he's picked this team, there's just no way that this team can lose by 2 clear goals to Hull City. They just can't. And remember, we're playing them in 6 days' time as well. So, yeah. I don't know. I just hope we haven't played our hand too much, but then again, at home to Hull, we should still be beating them. So yeah, what was you gone 3-1? A lot of people are going with that.
Yeah, I would like to say, Mark, just go back on something you said just now about Martial being established last season, Rashford being established. We got to think now it was a different manager, different time, different circumstances, different philosophy.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Louis van Gaal wouldn't have brought in Zlatan, Pogba this season if he was still in charge. So you got to even it out a bit. Mourinho's obviously got a lot more of a hard working philosophy than what LVG has. Exactly,
and you know what? It was only 2 weeks ago since we did the video where I said what a fantastic manager Jose Mourinho is, but I'll just keep harking back to it. In life you shouldn't just accept things that are grating on you, and the youth thing does bother me, the Martial thing does bother me. And I'll keep saying it, that Jose Mourinho's biggest mistake this year was ignoring Michael Carrick until November in the Premier League. Let's not forget, when we started this league season, as much as we did have some fantastic signings, our midfield 3 was Pogba, Rooney and Fellaini. I mean, that was car crash, and it was we did win the first 3 games, but the opposition was pretty crap. When we played somebody decent, we got absolutely steamrolled by Watford and Man City, and we were in trouble. But he's got it right. The good thing about a manager is realising you've got things wrong. But he has made mistakes. But he is the right man. I firmly believe that.
Biggest mistake for me, mate, was Bastion.
Yeah, well, he's been proved wrong. I mean, just very quickly on Schweinsteiger, not involved today. Didn't expect him to be. I was quite surprised he was on the bench last week. But the thing is, and I'm always tempted to text this, but tweet this, but I think people would take it as negativity. So I'll say it on the show and explain it. I can't, for the life of me, having seen Schweinsteiger play for most of my life, because I remember him as a youth player, as a young player for Germany. He's always been one of my favourite midfielders. He's clearly still a good midfielder. There is just no way on this living earth that he can be playing in our first team, training week in, week out, and not be standing out as being better than some of the midfielders we've got. Yet he's still not getting picked. It is odd, to say the least. Because he's obviously worked his way back in from the kids through hard work. And this is Bastian Schweinsteiger at the end of the day. He's not had any injuries this season. He's been training week in, week out. And Bastian Schweinsteiger, if he's training in your squad, I'm sorry, he's better than Herrera. He's better than Fellaini. He's arguably better than Carrick, and I love Carrick to bits. So it surprises me that we've got a player like that. And I think that comes down to ego again. I think it really does come down to the fact that he doesn't want to play Schweinsteiger starting games, because Schweinsteiger will play well, and the media will be like, you made a massive mistake there, didn't you? Not playing him for, sending him off for the kids. Yeah. Look at that. And I know Pep did it with Torre, but I don't think Jose wants that to happen.
No, I mean, Jose is a winner. He doesn't want to be made to look stupid, no matter who it is, what kind of mistake it is. He just does not want to be ridiculed, and to have that in the papers, with them saying, "Oh, you like you say, he's made a massive mistake with Bastian Schweinsteiger," but it's his experience. Well, yeah, we would, because I mean, maybe then for him, it could be a bit of a reality check, but I mean, Bastian. For me, it's the experience and the knowledge of the game that gets him into that team.
Yeah, and just I'm no fan of the media, and the way they treat Mourinho is disgraceful. And they would. If Schweinsteiger played next week against Hull, we won 4-0, and he ran the midfield, which I think he's capable of doing. It would be in the paper the next day, not about how well we played. It would be something mocking Mourinho, saying what an idiot he is for leaving him out. And Mourinho's got an ego, and I think that's probably part of the reason, because I can't understand for the life of me how Schweinsteiger plays week in, week out, and he wouldn't be better than some of the midfielders we've got. But that's the situation.
But on a plus side of it, I mean, going back to Martial, if he does go, we could argue we got a ready-made replacement in Pereira to come back.
Yeah, well, I do hope that we see him in the summer. I'm a massive fan of his. But I don't want Martial to go. I think, I'm not worried about Memphis at all. But if Martial goes, unless the problem with Martial is just his ego and not hard working, and in which case he probably won't amount to anything. But I don't agree with that. I think he's a fantastic talent, and I want him to stay.
I also think the number 9 shirt as well is probably played on his mind as well. And I'm pretty sure he's had some marriage problems or girlfriend problems somewhere, during his time at United. So it all adds up.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that Schweinsteiger's better than Pogba. I purposely didn't say the Pogba name and Josie. So if anyone thinks I said Pogba, I specifically remember not mentioning Pogba. But Schweinsteiger's better than Herrera, and he's certainly better than Fellaini. And I'd argue, I haven't really seen him play for a long time, but last summer I was saying, if you're picking Carrick or Schweinsteiger, I pick Schweinsteiger, and that's sacrilegious to me because I love Michael Carrick, but that's how good Schweinsteiger is.
He is a good player, yeah, definitely.
Thanks for calling in, Mad Mark.
No worries, mate. Have a good show. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, cheers, pal. Thank you. Thanks to Mad Marcus for coming on there. We're very fast approaching kickoff, so I'm just getting everything prepared for you. If you are new to a United Stand watch along, we move into the part of the show where it massively becomes about you lot. I want your tactics. I want your thoughts about what's going on during the game. Get commenting, give us your thoughts. I'll certainly be looking at Rashford and Lingard in this game. I always sort of have an area of the pitch that I'm going to be watching and looking at. And they're the most exciting bits for me, because I think everybody else we know a lot about. It's basically one of our strong teams that we've put out in a game that it'd be a disaster if we threw this away. So I don't expect that to happen. So I will be looking at the likes of Rashford and Lingard and the opportunities they've been given, because I don't think Lingard's been very good for the last month. He played well in the first half against West Brom, but he's regressed a little bit since then. I've just popped up the timer for you there, just so you know when the game kicks off. We will start the timer, and it will start off like that when the game kicks off, so you'll know exactly where we are in the game. So I'll stop that for you now, but it's ready to go when we do start. Above my head there, you can see that's our live subscriber count. Be fantastic tonight. 65,000 subscribers is quite a big point in the history of the United Stand. We'd love to hit the 65,000 while we're live on air tonight. So if you are new to the United Stand, or you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you click that hologram in the bottom right hand corner. Click and subscribe to the channel. And also, when you're looking at subscribing, just make sure you click the bell as well, which I think is probably on the home page. You can just click out and come back if you want to. You'll see it on our if you click the United Stand, go to the home page, or it's around there's a bell. Make sure you click the bell, because we are a live content channel. We're mainly on at 8:30 every night, but sometimes we do sporadic shows, and you'll get a notification every time we go live, because we are a live content channel, and we want you all to get involved. There's always a live comments live comments there. We started our quiz last night, which is already going to change drastically, but we are going to be getting you involved. We've been sorting out and sourcing prizes for that, so that will kick in again next week. Sunday Night Live at 8:30 was our flagship show. Every Sunday at 8:30 we review the week, the results, where are United going. Monday night at 8:30 is Skype Goldbridge, where you can Skype in and have your say. You dictate the show. We've got live previews. We've got the watch-alongs, match reactions. There's loads going on the channel. Transfer news, all sorts. So get involved. We are the biggest independent fan channel, and that's down to you lot. It's by the fans, for the fans. We say it how it is. You're not meant to agree with everything we say. You're meant to comment on it and give your opinion. That's what it's all about. And if you do agree with it, great. If you don't, it's fine. So subscribe. Like the video as well. We want to hit 1,000 likes on this, because it's your show now as the game we move towards kickoff. It's massively about your input, and I certainly need it, because it's me and thee. So please drop us a like on the video. Let's get to 1,000 likes, and subscribe as well. Let's get to 65,000. That would be absolutely fantastic. And also, if you think you are subscribed, make sure you are subscribed to the United Stand, because YouTube's weird at the moment, and it seems to be unsubscribing people. So thanks everybody, and if you are new to the United Stand, you're very welcome. I think you've stumbled on something you're going to really enjoy. We grow by word of mouth and people stumbling upon us organically, and we've been growing very, very well for the last 2 years, and I think that's because we've hit on something important, that fans of Manchester United worldwide, UK, wherever you are, we're all part of the United family. We've all got a voice, and we all want to share it and be passionate about the club that we love. And the United Stand provides you that daily opportunity to link in with a load of Manchester United fans and talk about the club you love. And that's what the United Stand is all about. So you're very welcome. Get involved and have your say. Tommy Mason says Mad Marcus should be on the United Stand more often. He's on it quite a bloody lot. He was on last night. He's been on tonight. He's on enough. Don't boost that ego. But no, he's very good. Thanks, Robert Webb. Quiz yesterday was epic, says Rude9 the Master. Been in discussions today with people about the change of the format for the quiz. It's going to be very good. Watch out for that next Thursday night at 8:30. We've got loads going on. G-Tung Kwok has just subscribed to the channel. You're very welcome, pal. Get involved. Make sure, if you're watching the watch along for the first time, that you visit tomorrow and you watch the content tomorrow at 8:30, and the next day and the next day. And of course, let's not forget, it's nearly weekend time. So that means, well, we normally do it on a Sunday morning, but Saturday morning this week, the United Ramble, out and about on a country ramble with me and Robbie the dog. Sounds ridiculous. A lot of people enjoy it, talking United, having a walk. So join us for that. Loads to get involved. Disliked video for saying Schweinsteiger is better than Herrera, says Red D. That's very immature of you, Red D, because you could have actually just commented and said why you disagree with it, rather than being petulant and disliking a video, because the United Stand isn't about listening to me and agreeing with it. It's about creating a debate and having your say on it. I'm not going to agree with you. Schweinsteiger is a World Cup winner. He's one of the best midfielders of the last 20 years. and he's streets ahead of Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera is a player I love. He's a cult hero at Manchester United, but he's not even established as an international footballer yet. I think there's question marks over Ander Herrera. Where did he go against Stoke? Where did he go against Liverpool? He's a great, passionate, cool player, and he gets what Manchester United's about. But don't confuse that with him being better than players that are better than him. He's got the potential to get up there, but he's not better than Schweinsteiger. It's a ridiculous comment. You've got to be real. Reese Morrissey's just subscribed to the channel and he wants a shout out. There you go. Rooney's best position, says Wendy Burton, on the bench. I'm not even being horrible. It is on the bench. Surely it is on the bench at the moment. He's not a first team player for Manchester United. Although today, maybe he is. We are literally 2 minutes from kickoff. We're ranting away here. We're literally 2 minutes away from kickoff. So just need to get everything prepared and ready. Excited? Yes, it feels like a long time since the Stoke game. It's been a long week. Thanks for everybody who's been sending in my goal celebrations from all the watch-alongs we've done this season. A bit of a drama last week because apparently I didn't celebrate the Rooney goal. I know I didn't. I was disappointed that we dropped 2 points. And I'm not really bothered about Wayne Rooney breaking the goal record, to be honest. It's not a priority for me when we've just thrown 2 points away. But I've had some cracking videos. I really enjoyed the one. I can't remember what team it was. We were 1-0 down in the last 10 minutes and we won it 2-1. It was a league game quite recently. Who was it? It wasn't. Was it Middlesbrough? Middlesbrough or Sunderland, I think it was. Yeah, well, the second goal of that went absolutely mad. So I really enjoyed that. But all feedback's good. And we are nearly ready to start the game. So I just need to get everything set up and get the timer on. Ref's ready. We're ready. You're ready. John Moss, the referee. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm waiting for it to start. I want to get bang on the second because I'm always ahead. I think he's either waxing his hands or we're about to start. Totally and utterly, you could say been a little bit disrespectful towards Hull, but it's not disrespectful. It's realistic. I can't see him getting anything out of this game. Having said that, we've not been fantastic in our last 2 games, so. Let's see what happens. Would you class Luke Shaw as a flop, Mark? Says Lanky Snake 942. No. Luke Shaw's been good. He's just not really, he had that bad injury. That wasn't his fault. And he was fantastic up until that. I think he started the season okay this year. I think he got a lot of unfair criticism against Watford when Fellaini and Rooney were horrific. But he's been given the opportunity to work his way back in. The fact that he's on the bench, I think, is a real positive. And I hope he can get involved. And I hope... for me, the Manchester United lineup is very, very simple. If you're asking me what Mad Marcus was saying, Mourinho doesn't know what his starting 11 is. Well, I know what my Manchester United starting 11 is. It's De Gea in goal. It's Valencia right back. It's Bailly and Jones as centre backs at the moment. It's Luke Shaw at left back. It's Carrick, Herrera, Pogba. It's Mkhitaryan, Martial, Zlatan. And I think that team probably wins you any game you want to play in. And we'd have a very strong bench filled up with people like Rashford and Mata and Rooney and Smalling. You could even put Fellaini on there. It'd even be nice. But, that would be my first 11. And I think it's obvious. But for whatever reason, and we don't know what the real reasons, we struggled to get to that. We had no Mkhitaryan at the start of the season. We're now not having Martial involved. You get Carrick dropped every now and again. Smalling's days are over, says Ujwell. Well, he's playing tonight. United pressing high up the pitch at the moment. We've got a lot of speed. We lacked a bit of speed in the first half against Stoke, playing Mata and Mkhitaryan and Zlatan and Fellaini. We did lack a bit of speed, but not tonight. We've got Lingard and Rashford on the flanks. Herrera playing further forward, pressing. Because pace isn't necessarily pace. Speed in the game is not necessarily always about pace. It's a big factor, but it's the way you press as well. And Herrera is far better. I mean, Herrera, I thought, had a poor game against Stoke because he's playing as a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box pressing midfielder, and that's where he does well. Guys, can we watch the match from here, or will we only get comments of the match? Godslayer, UGG. Unfortunately, we can't show you the game. We can't show you the game because we would get shut down for that. You've got to have the rights to do it. So a watch-along was always been us watching collectively and telling you what's going on and having a little bit of banter. That's why we have the timer, really. So if you've got your own footage of watching the game, you can just sync in with our timer and comment and get involved. It's basically a great opportunity for Manchester United fans to watch the game together, comment on it and feel part of it, because as we all know, some of us have to sit and watch it on our own, and you know that's why the watch along works well, I think. But get commenting and give us your thoughts. Hull are playing the long ball, says Mad Marcus. United with Carrick there, just trying to slow it down a bit and pass it about. I mean, we don't need to exert ourselves in this game, do we? It's won. It's just about patience, I suppose. And very funny, Antonio Melky saying that Liverpool bottled it. Very, very funny. Very funny. Irish Reds, yes I am. I actually wanted to play Liverpool in the final because I think I've been quite frustrated this season with Liverpool's gob, their fans. Oh, we're going to win the title, this, that and the other. We played them twice. We went to Anfield and parked the bus. And then we played them at home and we didn't turn up. So I would have loved to have played them in the Wembley final and beaten them and shut them up. But we don't get that opportunity now because Jurgen Klopp, the big fat flop, he's not fat, don't know why I said that, he's a bottler. He always bottles it near the end. He's lost the most cup finals, I think, than anybody in the Premier League. Yeah, Liverpool haven't won in January apart from Plymouth. So their season is slowly falling apart, which is funny. But let's not forget, they're still above us in the league by 4 points. It's a decent... Well, it's not a great ball by Zlatan, actually. Rashford's picked it up over on the left. I mean, Rashford's a cracking player, and at the moment, he's fought quite well. He's got past one into the box. Pogba might hit it. No, poor pass. And Hull will clear. But, you know, at the moment, Rashford probably is a better left winger than Martial, because Martial's struggling for whether it's confidence or belief, I don't know. But Rashford's not a left winger. I mean, this is the thing as well, this myth about Anthony Martial having a bad season. Do we not forget who cost us the 3 points against Arsenal as a left winger? Marcus Rashford, naivety. But did he get told off? No. Did he get publicly criticised? No. There's one rule for one and one rule for another. And we don't know what the truth is behind it. But what I would say is, don't fall into this myth trap that Martial's been rubbish this season and everybody else has been decent. Because they haven't. They haven't. Everyone's made mistakes this year. I keep forgetting as well, I'm actually very excited because our £10 to £100 challenge is going to come off tonight if Manchester United win. We were on 80 quid. The bet tonight was Manchester United to win at 1.5. So if it comes in, that's half of 80 in winnings, takes us up to just 117 quid. So if you've been doing the £10 to £100 challenge, fantastic. If you want to start doing it, because we will carry it on, more or less a new one, I suppose, on Sunday against Wigan at home. You can sign up in the video description for Leo Vegas and your first couple of bets. They will double them for you. So get involved on that. Won everyone 100 quid. Told you I'd do it. Well, presuming Manchester United win tonight, actually. I must put that little retainer in there, but I'm confident that we will do. Amapreet Gill makes a good point. Martial's being asked to deliver straight away. Even Ronaldo took 2 years to find his feet. Martial is sick and performed in some of the games Jose referred to. Yeah. Martial's not been bad this season. Like I said, Everton away was probably one of our hardest games of the season, and he was man of the match. It just gets forgotten because a fantastic performance was destroyed in the last minute by that bloody Krusty the Clown act of Fellaini coming on and ruining it. And so you forget anything good from the game because you're so annoyed that we've thrown away another 2 points. But Martial was fantastic in that game. Darmian's not United standard, says James Plays. No, Ollie Wakefield. You got a shout out there, James Plays. Where's read your comment? We can win. We've got Ibra and Pogba. We're ticking along on the subscribers. We're nearly at 64,700. We want to get 65,000 subscribers tonight. You know, this game tonight, we're just going to have to keep ourselves entertained because I think it's going to be a bit of a slow burner. United are through to Wembley if they win this game. They're 2-0 up. We don't need to force it. Hull have got to force it against us, so I think it will be quite a slow game until the last half an hour maybe. So we need to entertain ourselves. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, mate. Hopefully football and stuff. But subscribe. Let's get, while we've got a bit of a lull game, because I'm really looking forward to Sunday against Reading. I think it's really exciting. It's a knockout game against Wigan. And I think we will see people like, hopefully, Martial. I think it'll be a more exciting lineup than tonight because Romero's going to play in goal. De Gea's going to be given the weekend off to go to Spain. So I think a few players will be given that weekend off. And we'll get to hopefully see people like Schweinsteiger and Luke Shaw and Fosu Mensah and pray to God Martial. So I'm really excited about Sunday. Really excited about it. Tonight, not so much excited. But the exciting thing will be at the end of it when we know we're going to Wembley, which is going to be really exciting, isn't it? But so we may as well push something. Let's try and get to 65,000 subscribers. Like the video, and at the bottom there's a share button. Share it on Google Plus, Facebook, whatever you've got a social media account on. Share like something like, I don't know, live Manchester United versus Hull, Reading, Watchalong, stream or whatever. Come and join the debate. Share it. Let's get as many people along as we can, and then let's subscribe. Click and subscribe. Let's get up to 65,000. That'd be a great achievement. It's a slow start, everybody, as I'm sure you're aware. Somebody just said, can you give us the highlights of the first 10 minutes? There's not been a hell of a lot. I'm not going to be critical of United tonight because 2-0 up away from home. You don't need to go gung-ho. You don't need to be 100 miles an hour. And you're very much like a boxer who's just sort of like, you're saying to the opposition, you've got to knock me out twice. So, I've got loads, come at me. I'm just going to preserve my energy and try and knock you out when you make a mistake. So that's what it's like. Ryan James, he likes big butts and he cannot lie. The song United are singing is on my channel, says MEF Sing Songs BJB. Kamyar says Darmian and he's pulled a not a very happy face. I'm feeling in a good mood tonight. You know what? Let's just have a little banter and a bit of fun. We're going to go to Wembley. We're going to win 100 quid on the bet challenge. I'm confident we're going to get 65,000 subscribers. We've just gone up to 64,700. Keep subscribing. Yeah. So Hull just had a chance from a corner, but they blasted it way over the bar. Nothing really to write home about. Come on, United, says Saya. But going back to what I was saying before, the foul there. Phil Jones just body checked somebody. It was quite a decent run. He might get a yellow card. He will get a yellow card. 10 men makes it interesting, doesn't it? I mean, I don't want Hull to score to make it more interesting, but it has been a bit of a slow start. I mean, I think that's a good thing to discuss, sort of, because not a lot going on. Let's see what happens with the free kick. But Phil Jones and obviously Rojo have had a very good few weeks. They've helped us out when Bay's been gone and Smalling's been injured. But do I think they're Manchester United standard centre backs? No. Do I think Jose Mourinho thinks they are? No. And I think I've seen it over the last few weeks. Every now and again, you do see flaws in Phil Jones's. Ooh, good free kick, but it was straight at De Gea. He punches it away. A Hull goal, 2-0 is not a great lead in any game, and one goal for Hull will give them a real boost. But I think we just need to. Is Rashford? Has he got a foul? No, it fell over according to the ref. Refs against United this season. What's that all about? Mad Marcus says it was a good save by David De Gea. I've seen Mad Marcus in goal, and I know why he's saying it's a good save. It was very easy, but for him it would be a worldie. Strong Hand says observant. Jenna Len says go Man United. Yes, even Kelleher with the comments of the night, he said Mark's a legend, and he said it 5 times. I'll shout stuff like that out, Evan. Well done. United have got a free kick here on the left. It's more or less going to be a cross from Ander Herrera. I'll eat my slippers if Manchester United score from a cross, because we never score from crosses. I do it on purpose so that when they score it, I look like an idiot. But we won't score from this cross. Ander Herrera on the left-hand side of the pitch, about 10 yards away from the corner of the penalty box. About to curl it in towards the penalty box. In it comes. And goes out for a goal kick. Off. Oh no, goes off for a hold player for a corner. Can we do a prize when United gets enough fans to fill Old Trafford mark, which is 76,635? Well, it comes down a bit with the disabled seating, doesn't it? I think it comes down to about 72,000. We will do, Lee. I'll always be open with you and I'll always be honest. And the reality is, if you can sign up with the link description, if you're into betting, just sign up in the link description for Leo Vegas. And if we get 100 sign-ups before the end of the month, they're going to give us 100 quid. And with that 100 quid, we're going to give it away on Wednesday in the show. We've got to get 100 sign-ups, but we're trying to do this sort of thing now so we can start to reward you. I mean, I'm sure just watching the channel and the debates and the comments you have, I know you all enjoy it anyway, but we're trying to utilise the audience that we have and, bring sort of prizes and ways that we can give stuff away. So, but the quiz show, we started it last night as a trial. You've all given us loads of feedback on it, and we've got a new format for the quiz. I can tell you now as an exclusive for all you lot, it was head-to-head last night. It will now go up to 3 people in the quiz. So there'll be 3 of you against each other. That will be on Thursday at 8:30, and we are going to be giving prizes away for that. Manchester United shirts with the name, whatever name you want on the back. So that will be happening on a monthly basis. So lots of the stuff like that going on. But if you want the 100 quid, please do sign up for Leo Vegas if you're into betting. And they will give you a 100% boost on your first 2 bets as well. Oh, and some people are quite well off themselves. If you've got your own business or anything like that and you want a bit of a shout out and you want to give us a prize to give away, get in contact. Cam Neville, Mark, should we be signing some players? Well, I think that's a very good question. The game's sort of carrying on as it has done for the first 10 minutes so far. It's a bit slow. Lots of set pieces, lots of free kicks and that. But my answer to that, Cam, would be this. That I think, yes, we should have signed some players this month. I know it's hard. Jose said himself, it's hard to sign players in January, good players, because they're not really available. We've not wasted this transfer window, I must say that. We've not wasted it because we've sold Memphis and Schneiderlin for very good money. So we've not wasted it. And those people who say, well, he's wasted a transfer window. No, there's 2 aspects to transfers. You're selling and you're buying. And we've made 2 good sales. But I would like to have seen us sign a centre-back. Maybe we can't get hold of the centre-back we want. But we do need a centre-back who's dominant in the air, both attacking when we've got corners and defending when we're defending set pieces. Because we always look a bit vulnerable from them and we look awful at attacking when we've got crosses going into the box. So that is somebody we should have prioritised. And everybody's got a price. And Manchester United have got a lot of money. Rashford's away down the left wing here. He's actually nearly in the corner flag. The positive about Pogba is he's a forward and he should be playing up front. But it's the same as Martial playing on the left. He's probably a forward as well. But playing games is better than sitting on the bench. So he's not going to play up front because we've got Zlatan at the moment. Nice little interchange between Herrera and Lingard. Pogba. Rojo's going to hit it. Deflects wide. Corner. Give him a goal kick. We're never going to score from a corner. Never going to score from a corner. Unfortunately. Corner comes in and it's cleared. Like night follows day, Manchester United are abysmal. I'll say abysmal at corners. But we are starting to dictate the play a little bit in the final third now, moving the ball around nicely. I don't know what Hull's approach to this game is really. let's not forget, Hull need 3 goals to win it. They need 2 goals. They need 2 clear goals just to force extra time. I think it's mission impossible. Kwame talking about Twansibi, saying that Jose Mourinho's had his eyes on him. You know what? I'll play devil's advocate again. I don't necessarily believe it, but I think as a United fan channel, we should always try and see the other potential side. And the cynic could say, I don't agree, I don't believe this, by the way, but the cynic could say Mourinho's hardly used any youth this season, and a well-placed article in the media saying Twansibi's close to first-team football when you've got no intention of playing him just appeases the fans to make them think that he is focused on the youth when he really isn't. Just throwing it out there. Because I remember 2 months ago Twansibi was part of the first-team squad and very close to getting a call-up, and 2 months later he still hasn't had one. So, there we go. Nathan says Twansibi will be involved against Wigan. Yes, I hope so. I really hope so. That's what I think as well. Man United, the highlight so far, says Kyle. Rojo's deflected shot that was never going to go in anyway and went for a corner. It's been a slow start. United, quite rightly, are just saying to Hull, well, what have you got? And Hull are thinking, well, if it's still 0-0, maybe nick a goal, etc. We nearly got him on the break there. Phil Jones booked, remember? That could change it. Draughty Devil says 65,000 subscribers tonight. We're trying to get there. We're on 64,760 now. Keep subscribing to the channel. As I've said to you before, I know a few of you will be stumbling in new to the United Stand. You're welcome. Subscribe, get involved. This is not the only show we do. We're live every night at 8:30. We've got Manchester United quiz shows you can get involved in. You can come on the show and win prizes. We've got Monday Light at 8:30 where you Skype in and have your say. We've got Sunday Night Live at 8:30 where we review the week and it can get quite heated. We've got watch-alongs every time United play. We've got match reactions after every game. We've got preview shows. We've got transfer news. We've got loads of stuff, and it's driven by you, the United fan, getting involved. Live comments, always part of the video with what you're saying. So get involved. And if you are new, I genuinely say this with total and utter honesty. You've stumbled on something that I think you're going to really enjoy, because the community, the United Stand community, is arguably the best I've ever seen, especially in relation to Manchester United, for knowledge, passion, and banter as well. That's important. Life's for living, life's for having a bit of fun. But the knowledge, I know I can say something, and I'm not going to get idiots coming along with Darmian's not good enough. I've actually had people tweet me back and say Darmian's top class. I know I'm not going to see that sort of a comment on here. Watch what happens on the live comments now, because this is the banter coming through. You'll all start saying Darmian's top class. But you know what I mean? There's a real good understanding. And what I love about the United Stand as well is, as I was saying before, we're not going to start going to Old Trafford and interviewing fans after the game. Somebody already does that. We are the global United Stand. We are the global Manchester United fan channel. We know and appreciate that a lot of you are watching this because it's 2 o'clock in the morning wherever you're watching. You might not be able to get a stream. You might not want to watch a stream. You want to just interact with United fans. It might be 8 o'clock in the morning. That's what the United Stand is. It makes no bloody difference where you are, who you are, whether you've ever been to Old Trafford, whether you ever will go to Old Trafford. You are still a Manchester United fan. There is no better fan. There is no grade given out by the fan. You are Manchester United fans. You are part of the family. You are very welcome on the United Stand, and we want you to get involved. Tell your friends about it. Get involved and become part of this community, which is yours. And that's what the United Stand is. We had the idiot on before saying that, if you don't go to Old Trafford, you're not a real fan. Most bigoted, naive comment we've had in a long time, but people genuinely think that. But that's not what the United Stand is. And if you share those views, maybe it's not for you. This is about the United Stand family. And, you're all welcome. There is no grade of fan. Anthony Abdurrab makes a good point. United are just playing with them. We're probably in third or fourth gear, and I've got no issue with that. I think tonight was always going to be quite a difficult game. We've had, in a way, we're playing better than that, to be honest. But this sort of reminds me of, if anyone can remember the watch-alongs of when we were managed by Louis van Gaal. We were doing Name Your Favourite Song, Name That Tune. after half an hour into a game under Louis van Gaal because it was that boring. And this sort of reminds me of that in a way. Not that it's boring, just but it's not been like our last few games where you know we've won this tie. It's half time. It's 2-0. We've more or less won this tie. And I know some people who just said there they'd like Hull to score to make it a little bit more interesting. I can see where you're coming from. I don't want Hull to get back into this game at all because I want to go to Wembley. I want to win a trophy. We've invested a lot of time in this tournament, rightly or wrongly. I would like to have seen a few more youth players being played. He took it serious from day one. And I think because he's taken it from serious from day one, we better bloody go and win it. Nathan's saying that Southampton will be hard in the final. Let's be respectful to Hull. I think we will win this game, but we haven't won it yet. Mad Marcus saying it's a bit of a bad pitch. Not a good game so far, says G. Royston. Do you want to? Shall I start playing Name That Tune? I'll do one. If you get this, you're probably a bit old, and also you know it's football related. So let me think how the tune goes. The song and the band who did it. Sad trophy to lose, says Harper Hull. Let's be honest, I agree. Seth saying United to Wembley. What do I think about Evra joining Marseille? Jack Doyle says. Good question. We've got a cross here. Total waste of time. We never score from crosses. Herrera crosses it in. It's too high. Zlatan. And they've got rid of it. Although Zlatan's in. Cross nearly deflected in. Keeper saved. And Carrick retains the ball. Passes it out to Rashford. It's not going to come to anything. Hull will nearly clear, but Zlatan's got it. Hull will clear. Evra, I like Evra, but 3 years ago he was finished at Manchester United, according to a lot of people. So why would we want him back? Unless he was going to come back as a trainer, I think the Evra chapter is over as a player. So I wouldn't say I'm happy because that sounds a bit harsh, but no, I don't think Evra coming back. I want to see Luke Shaw. Glory, Man United, says Mad Marcus. He got it. Mark, you should go on X Factor, says Paul Michael Blake. Lars says, please don't sing. The White Man says, is 5th place, an FA Cup and an EFL Cup satisfactory? What do you think? You know what words jumps out at me? No, it's a failure. An FA Cup, the League Cup and 5th place doesn't get you Champions League football. It gets you Europa League football. That's a failure. I don't care whether we win 2 trophies. That's a failure. I would rather have no trophies and 4th because Champions League football is far more important to Manchester United this season. Trophies are nice, but we need Champions League football. So it's a very good question from the White Man there. 5th place FA Cup and League Cup trophies. Is that a good season? I can imagine some fans would say yes. Hull have got a corner here, but no, it's not. We've got to get Champions League football. 5th place. Oh, Hull should have scored there, and a good save by De Gea. It was a fantastic tackle by Smalling, who was probably out of position anyway on the penalty box. Just about to hit it. Block came in, and then it fell to another Hull player. Where is Darmian? I mean, Darmian's like the invisible man tonight. But yeah, Europa League on its own in 5th place and not winning any trophies would be a good season because it gets us into the Champions League. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think Darmian's a bit like the invisible man. I don't need to expand on that, but get Fozo on. Would be my message. It's a bit of a lethargic game. De Gea's had to be on his. It's very like the Louis van Gaal days, isn't it? Boring United, and then De Gea's keeping us in it. Another free kick for Hull, who've played this lad who is quite a good set piece taker. I forget his name, Scottish lad. Maloney, that's it. Over the bar. So we're 27 minutes in. Somebody said it was Status Quo who sang that song, and they were right. It was. It's 0-0. We've hit 64,800 subscribers. We're closing in on 65,000. Don't worry about people saying there's been a goal, because if you're watching this, you'll know whether there's been a goal, and there's not been a goal. Lee Carmen saying that we're boring to watch because we sit back way too often. You can't really moan at us sitting back. We're going to Wembley if this game ends now 0-0, and we're going through the motions, really, aren't we? You can't really moan about that. Clash Plays, how do you do the live streams? Okay, well, maybe I can do a video. Maybe I can do a video for you one day to tell you how to do that if you want to know how to do it. What I would say is that... No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to kill people's dreams. There's a lot of people doing, well, even United, but there's a lot of people doing this sort of thing at the moment. And having done it for 2 years, it's bloody hard work to get to where we are. And we couldn't do it without you lot, obviously. But it is a lot of hard work. And we're very fortunate. I don't know whether he's still watching. Draughty Devil and me talk a lot. And he does the studios and we think of ideas. We've been working on the quiz idea today, which is fantastic. But it's a lot of hard work. I know you've got to have the time to do it. And I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm not crying. It's hard. And then it's hard to get subscribers. It's hard to maintain viewers, etc. So if you're interested in doing this sort of thing, what I would say, and I say this with total honesty as well, is we do Skype Goldbridge on a Monday at 8:30. We've got the quiz, which is going to start next Thursday, which you can come on. Skype Goldbridge is definitely probably the better one to start on, because you can come on and tell us what you want to talk about, and get yourself, get yourself involved with the United Stand. Become a regular on the United Stand. Sanders done it. Rashford into the box there. Pogba lays it off. Hull will get rid of that. It's a free kick as well. So yeah, if you come on to, we've had a few people come on Skype Goldbridge who are really good. And there's Stuart from last week, Ewan, a couple of others. So those opportunities are there. And I've always been looking for the last 2 years, somebody to share the presenting roles with me. So, the sky's the limit. Rather than going off, well, you can try and go off and do it on your own, or you can get involved with the United Stand, and you've got a platform there that, not many people, when I started out, I wish some of the other channels had said to me, come on and you've got that exposure. They didn't. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, by the way, but we're nearly at 65,000 subscribers, Sean Boy. We need people to keep subscribing and sharing and getting involved with the channel. The sky is the limit for this channel. I mean, it could all stop tomorrow, but the sky is the limit, and the bigger we get, the bigger voice we get. And all I can say is that the bigger we are getting, the more people are taking notice and offering us things like, hopefully we'll get that £100 giveaway on Wednesday. We're going to start giving United shirts away from the quiz and stuff. So there's loads of stuff going on. And the bigger we get, the more we'll be able to do stuff like that. Carrick fan. I hope it is the real Carrick fan. Time to back the team. No player is bigger than the club, regardless of how good they are. I hope we're going to fall out, Carrick fan. I hope you're not getting at Martial there, because there is a myth. There is a myth going round about Anthony Martial that he's got a bad attitude and he's not bothered about the club. It's nonsense. People spread this rubbish about Memphis, and I even said it was true, and it wasn't. Jose came out and said it's nothing to do with his attitude. And there is no truth in the rumours that Martial's got a bad attitude or anything like that. So I think it's very unfair. I think what we've got to assume, in the absence of any other evidence, is the same as what's happened with Mkhitaryan, Schweinsteiger, Chris Smalling's back playing now, Luke Shaw's back on the bench. Mourinho is just giving him a bit of tough love for them to respond and start doing things the way he wants them to be done. And Martial deserves our backing anyway, because last year we were a one-man team away from De Gea. As an outfield player, he was fantastic. And also, he's not been that bad this season. He had a bad start to the season. Against Everton in December, he was fantastic and man of the match. Against Borough at Christmas, he was fantastic. And against Liverpool last week, I disagree that he played badly. He had 5 players around him every time he got the ball. And Pogba was absolutely rubbish. And I like Pogba, but he was the worst player on the pitch against Liverpool. So to highlight Martial is really unfair. So I think Martial deserves our backing until we are told anything different. Carrick fan does make a good point there, following it up as per usual. It's Martial's agent trying to stir trouble between the two. I am concerned about that. You make a very, very good point. I spoke about it about an hour ago before the game started. The one thing that I don't like is his agent coming out a month ago saying that a move to Sevilla would suit Martial. What's that all about? And you can't blame Martial for that. He's a 20-year-old lad. Let's not forget that. He's a kid as well. And this agents in football, I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. We were last summer for the first time in a decade. It absolutely benefited us 100%. We got Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, and Pogba out of Mino Raiola, but it doesn't mean Mino Raiola or however you pronounce it is a nice bloke. It's just that benefited us this summer. In 4 years' time, he might go and get them all off. Well, he won't get Zlatan off, but he might go and get Pogba and Mkhitaryan off to Real Madrid, and we'll be saying he's an arse. So agents cause a lot of problems, and I think that one about Martial could be true. It's still 0-0 in this game, and we're fast approaching half time. It's a bit like a boxing match at the moment, but it's a corner. Penalty to Hull. Well, that's a good start. Another dodgy penalty. Let's have a look. I'm waiting to watch it back. This is the fat ref who's got... That's not a penalty. That is never a penalty. No, that's not a penalty. It's not even a penalty. Let's see if they score. It's just basically his arm like that. And they have scored. Well, that's 1-0 to Hull. I'm waiting for your comments on this. Never a penalty in a million years. And Mad Marcus agrees. It's a shocking decision. And this is the referee. I can't remember what game it was. It was the one who gets accused of just not being fit enough because he's... It's just not a penalty. It's not even a penalty. It's basically 4 players going for the ball, 2 United players, 2 Hull players. There's a bit of pushing with the arm. It's a shoulder bite. We're watching it here. It's not a penalty. They're even saying it on the telly. I'm not sure there's a genuine foul in there. It's not a penalty. That is not a penalty at all. And yet again, we are a victim of a dodgy referee giving penalties against us for nothing, and then up the other way, nothing. I mean, it makes it slightly more exciting, I agree, but we've just been absolutely wrong. The refereeing decisions are just absolutely shocking. This and it falls all the time. All the time, it falls against us. Well, there's a little bit more excitement now, but United are probably going to have to up their game a little bit because we have been having... It has been like a boxing match in the sense that we've been saying, well, what have you got? Well, they've got a referee who's on their side, unfortunately, and that's made it 1-0 to Hull. Henry Townsend, who's to blame for our poor performance so far? Well, I suppose there is that valid point from Henry there. We were very bad against Liverpool. I don't think we were much better against Stoke, and we've been slow today. They're in the penalty box again here. To be honest, if I was a United player in the penalty box, I'd move, I'd run away and just let them have a shot against De Gea because the ref will give a penalty. I'm not as animated because we're still 2-1 up, but just never a penalty in 100 years. But now Zlatan's in. He's got no pace though. Look, he's still running. Where's your shot? Oh, good save. Good save. He got the shot away. Just put it wide. Bad stray pass from Hull. He's running at the penalty box. He's got Michael Dawson. Uses him as a wall to bend it round. Keeper saves it. Pushes it out for a corner. There's a lovely shot by Zlatan actually. And only just puts it wide, the keeper. At full stretch. Tipping it round the post. It's a good save. It was a good shot by Zlatan. But how we could have needed that. A little bit of justice straight after an injustice. Listen Healthily says it was a penalty. What are you babbling on about? Go and read the rule book, mate. And you clearly don't support Manchester United. Lingard with the corner. Is there a miracle that we score from a corner? No. Well, it's made a game interesting, I suppose, but never ever a penalty in a million years. It's not even a shoulder barge. It's just there's no shirt grabbing. It's just a fat lazy referee. I'm afraid it is. So we won't be seeing Luke Shaw or Fosu Mensah now because this 11 have messed it up. I mean, the only chance we were going to get to see those sort of players is if we were comfortable. It's now an uncomfortable game, and I think Mourinho's got a bit of a problem, don't you think, at the moment? Because we didn't play well against Liverpool. We were poor against Stoke, and we've been poor again today. And this is our starting 11, the spine. Marcus, if you're listening, you can come on at half time and give us your thoughts. Let's have a look on Twitter, because I did say we've been cheated again. A lot of people saying stop moaning, we've been rubbish. I'm just tweeting out there, rubbish against Liverpool, poor against Stoke, lazy tonight. We need to sort this out. You know, it's all right laughing at Liverpool, but we're not doing that great at the moment. Every time Darmian plays, teams score, says Omar. Wasn't a penalty, but terrible performance so far, says Attel. Yeah, I think that's maybe why we're not moaning too much. It's a bit of a weird game because we were 2-0 up. We've not played that well, but I tell you what, if that was the last 10 minutes against Liverpool, you'd be going mad about that penalty because it's just an absolute shocker by the referee again. And listening to the TV commentary, even they say it's not a penalty, and they've got no reason to not. You know, if you're a TV company, you want Hull to score because it makes it more interesting, but they're saying it's not. Drop a subscribe. We're very close to 65,000 subscribers. I think we're hopefully going to do it. That'll at least be a positive. My bet's looking absolutely terrible now, isn't it, actually? Just realised that. It goes from bad to worse. But we're closing on a half time. Giving you your thoughts. Moji says it's a soft penalty, but it can go either way. I think that's making an excuse, Moji, for bad refereeing, really. It's not a penalty. In the rules of the game, that's not a penalty. You can call it soft, or you can be honest and say it's not a penalty. If that was one given for us, I would look back. You know, we are very honest on this channel, and the people on the live comments are very honest as well. And you know, we've seen United players get sent off. We saw that tackle by Rojo against Everton, and we said, you know, that should have been a red card. You know, we will be honest, but even when the decisions go for us, if that had been given to us, I certainly would have been saying that's not a penalty. Pogba's been crap again, by the way. Let's just let's be honest about that as we approach half time. Lazy, losing the ball a lot. I don't get the point in playing Pogba in a game like this because he's just not. If he's not going to turn up and turn it on, what's the point? In fact, it's been quite embarrassing playing our first team in this game because it has been embarrassing. It should 42 minutes. Get Zlatan off and Mickey on, says Dan the Man. He'll bring Fellaini on. That'll be his ploy. It'll be Fellaini, won't it? It would definitely be Fellaini. Fellaini and Rooney. Who's been bad for you, though, everybody? You're watching it. Who's been bad? I think Pogba's been lethargic again. Darmian at right back has made Lingard pretty... We've missed Valencia massively, haven't we? Because we've not used the width at all. Full-backs are an issue. Just very lethargic. Very lethargic. Cupite Kieran says we're parking the bus. I don't think we're even that competent at the moment. I don't think we're purposely parking the bus. I think we're just not able to string two passes together. Matthew Hamilton says don't stress. Manchester United will win. Greg Davis says it's not a penalty, but we don't deserve anything more, which is a fair comment. I think that's why a lot of us aren't getting too angry about what wasn't a penalty. Rooney's warming up. Luke Shaw's warming up. You know what I think? I just think the defence is too defensive. The fullbacks, I mean, are just too defensive, and then that nullifies what our wingers can do because they get ganged up on. All the subs are warming up. People are saying Fosu Mendes is warming up. All the subs are warming up at the moment. Pogba very poor, says Smooth. You know what? We missed Martial. That's what the press will say. Oh dear. It's never easy, is it? Football's funny. It always throws up weird things. And I think tonight, coming into this game, we were always leaving ourselves sort of wide open that the only thing that can go... You know, you've won the game. You're going to Wembley. All you've got to do is sort of show up and go through the motions. It's not all, it never works like that, does it? And the first goal is always going to be the critical goal. But we've been very lethargic. You've got to work for it. You've got to work for that final. And I don't think that we have done anywhere near what we could have done. And it's there for Hull, you know. I don't know whether Hull are still in the FA Cup, but they might fancy a bit of extra time. It'd be a shambolic. You know, Manchester United should win this game. I mean, Hull could score the next game and force it. But for Hull to get 3 goals unanswered would be absolutely horrific. So I can't believe that will happen. Even Kelleher says the ref probably still sleeps with his mum. Shane says Shane Heron we're playing rubbish. Get Mickey and Rooney on, says X-Rat. Get Pogba, Lingard off and Rooney and Mickey on, says Cam Neville. We need Fellaini to dictate the play. Yeah. Hull looking like Barcelona, says Louis Webb. Zlatan should have scored already, says Morgs the Gamer. I mean, yet again, we've not really created any chances in this game, have we? And at least against Stoke we did. Zlatan was put through, obviously. No, Lingard. Awful control. I don't think Jesse Lingard's playing well at the moment. I think it's really unfair that Martial gets publicly criticised, and I haven't seen Jesse Lingard do anything apart from one half. But this could be. Pogba nearly putting Rashford through, but the keeper came running out. Top 4 says team selection wrong. Mark. I don't know. Yes, it is wrong because I would have played Anthony Martial. And I don't like to say I told you so, but you know, I don't know why. Or sort of developing that point there. I don't know why in the last day Jose Mourinho came out and criticised Anthony Martial, and then tonight yet again we've seen what I would describe as another pretty average to poor performance from Jesse Lingard. I like Jesse Lingard. I do like Jesse Lingard, but he last played well for 45 minutes against West Brom before Christmas, and ever since then he's been pretty bad. So yeah, I think have we picked the wrong team? I'd like to have seen Tony Martial play. But for me, and I know Marcus has joined me there, so I need to get his thoughts as well. I think United, again, today, again, I'm left wondering why Paul Pogba plays every game, because I really think he needs a bit of a kick up the backside and being dropped. And I think our wingers are just redundant. We've really missed Valencia, because Darmian just doesn't attack, and Rojo doesn't offer us going forward anything down the left. We are basically sitting back and waiting for Hull to score. I don't know what your thoughts are, Mad Mark.
I agree, mate, totally, without a doubt. Our fullbacks are not pushing up the field at all. They're not bombing on like normal. Darmian, I think, is having a hell of a rough time with, is it Simon on their left side?
Yeah.
Giving away a couple of free kicks on that side as well. I mean, the corner coming from the right side, and it does. I don't know what the game plan is. It doesn't look like he is. I just don't get it. They're not going forward. They've had the one shot on target from Zlatan. The corners are normal, absolutely horrendous. The balls are.
It's not even a joke now. May as well give him a goal kick.
Yeah, but I mean, even the balls that are being played up to Zlatan, they're not even getting to him. They're going over him. So, I mean, to me, it looks like a very dysfunctional side that have no idea what the game plan is.
Rude Nine Master says, don't agree with the penalty, but Hull deserve to be in front. I think that sort of sums up the half, really. I do want to talk about the penalty very quickly, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff, because I think it's been like a boxing match, and I think United have been knocked down once, and they could get knocked down again. I think they've come into the match, the boxing match, and they've gone, you know what, I'm a better boxer than you. You've got to knock me out twice. So you might get one lucky one, but then you've got to do it again. Well, they've knocked us down once, and now suddenly they've only got to do it again, and it's game on. And I think we've not thrown enough punches. We've been very defensive. We've got the ability to go and knock Hull away, but I don't know whether that's going to happen now. But let's talk about the penalty, and then we'll go back to that. I agree with that comment by Rude the Master there. I think the reason I was angry at the time. I think the referee is a joke. It's not a penalty. It's just another bad decision that goes against us. We don't get penalties when people punch our players in the face. We wouldn't get a penalty for that. But that is not a penalty, and it's given as a penalty. Another example of a dreadful referee. And whether Hull deserve to be in front or not doesn't make that excusable. I challenge anybody to try and explain how that is a penalty. There's no grabbing of the shirt. It's just movement in the box.
Yeah, I mean the whole player that's won the penalty come round the back of Jones and I think Rojo, and to me it looks like he fell over his own player. They come together, and then that's brought our defenders down with them. And I can understand Jones's reaction, standing there with his arms out, saying, "Well, what the hell's that for?" Because I don't think they even touched each other. It was just a clash. And the referee, I think, he totally got that wrong. That's the softest, stupidest decision I've seen in a long while for a penalty decision, without doubt.
There's a few people saying clear penalty, but I suspect they're bitter Liverpool fans who aren't going to Wembley anymore, because I know what, if it's a penalty, I'm more than happy admit it if it is one, but I haven't actually, there's no point discussing it any further than to say, if you think that's a penalty, better go to Specsavers, or even better, when you've been there, read the FA rulebook. It's not a penalty. People bartering for position and not pushing, grabbing or fouling anybody, that's not a penalty. I mean, that's a penalty. That wasn't. That's just normal stuff that goes on all over the pitch. But in relation to the game itself, you could probably say that Hull do deserve to be in front on the balance of play. They've wanted it more. They've attacked more. What do you put it down to? Do you think it is Mourinho's tactic to just think, well, we've won this game, we keep a clean sheet, we're through, just let Hull do what they want, they won't score twice? Or do you think it's the players again, just lazy, thinking it's won and not putting enough effort in?
I'm going to put it down to the players, not enough effort, mate, because away from home, we saw it with Stoke, we saw it with Liverpool, that the effort just isn't quite there. That could, I know there's no Europa League at the minute, but I mean, it could come down to the fact that they're looking very laboured at times. I mean, especially the passing tonight. I mean, I can't remember a time where they've put more than 3, 4 passes together. Really, nothing
There's
adventurous going forward. There's no. It's almost as if the attacking mentality has gone out of them tonight, and they're just quite relaxed and thinking, oh yeah, they're not going to score 3, But I mean, stupid decisions like that cost us in quite an important game as well, make all the difference. And now they've got into half time, their tails are up, guaranteed the second half. Their manager's going to be saying to them, get out there, keep doing it. We've got nothing to lose. Go for it and see what happens. But then Jose's, what's he going to do? Is he going to say now, right, let's calm it down, get some rhythm going, get some passes together, the goal will come and we'll make it through? Or do we sit back and not risk it? So he's in like...
There's an idiot on the telly at the moment saying it's a penalty because there's a slight tug on the shirt, but...
No, I'm watching it now, mate. Never. Sorry, mate, but I mean, Jones and Rojo, they're stood there looking at each other as if to say, what the F is that? Yeah. What's going on? And, all right, if you're a United fan, you would say that. But honest to God, even if you're not a United fan, that's not a penalty. Come on. There's more than that. I saw when Jones got the yellow card for the free kick, there was a tackle on Rashford about a minute later, exactly the same, and not even a yellow for it. So there is no consistency whatsoever in this game.
I mean, people say, how would you improve this in the second half? I think we do need to make substitutions. The sad thing for me is that we're not going to take Paul Pogba off. And people, this is it, it's extreme or nothing, isn't it? It's like if you want to take Pogba off, you're a Pogba hater. I'm not a Pogba hater. I think, he's a fantastic talent, and he arguably is one of the best midfielders in the European football. The last 3 games, he's going through a bad spot. It's not good. You can't keep carrying him. He doesn't look right at the moment. I don't know whether he's carrying a knock or whatever like that, but he's just not turned up, as Becksod said. He's not there. Will we sub him off? No, because he never subs Pogba off. He never does. The 2 players that are in danger of coming off, as always, are the wide men. It'll be Lingard and Rashford. He never bothers taking that Zlatan, Herrera, or Pogba. He might take Carrick off, which would be ridiculous, but he never really wants to take Herrera, Pogba or Zlatan off, no matter how bad they're playing.
No, I can't see him taking Rashford. No. I don't see him taking Rashford off, not at all.
No, I don't think Lingard's done very well.
No, but I mean, I think the game's crying out for a bit of creativity here. Mata, Mkhitaryan, and I would probably take off Rojo and stick Luke Shaw on there, because Rashford's getting a lot of the ball out wide, and I think Luke Shaw could help him bomb forward a bit with the overlap and get some crosses in.
It's a shame we can't make 4 substitutions, because I'd get Fozo on the right back, I'd get Luke Shaw on the left back, so we've got some attacking intent, because we're missing Valencia tonight to support the wide men. I'll get Mkhitaryan on the right, and I'd probably just, because there's nobody else really, and you can't play Fellaini there, take Pogba off and try and get Rooney playing in the midfield, because I just don't see what Pogba offers. Reality is, I don't think we'll see any of those substitutions, but we can certainly turn it around. What's your thoughts in the second half? Do you think we will turn it around, or do you think we're going in for a long night into extra time?
I know I said 3-1, but going by the first half, mate, I think it's going to be a long night. I do. I don't see... I can see Hull maybe getting another one now because their tails are up. But at the minute, state of play, I don't see United scoring. Not at all.
Okay, pal. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that, and I'll speak to you in a bit.
No worries, pal. See you later.
Cheers. Bye bye. You know what? I'm gonna be a little bit positive and say I think we'll win it 2-1. I've just got a feeling that we can't play as bad as we did. I think Hull will have to come at it. No matter what happens in this second half, they've got 45 minutes. They either need a second goal, or if we score, they're going to need goals. The last 10 minutes, it's not like they can defend a draw. I think we'll see a winner in 90 minutes, and I think it will be Manchester United. But we've got to change drastically that first half, and I don't think we can be as bad as that again. So I think Manchester United will win it. I'm going to go 2-1. Prane's moaning about the bet, but there's 45 minutes left, mate. You don't get anything till full time. Lynn makes a good point. People moan that Van Gaal never refused to drop Rooney. Mourinho's doing exactly the same with Pogba and Zlatan. He's undermining his own authority. Needs to show all players must perform every match and all players must be treated equally. What do you think about that? It's not a bad point. There's a lot of issues in that lineup at the moment though, and I certainly would change it. But for me, the glaring thing, and I'm sure a lot of you will have picked up on it as well, Pogba is not offering us anything in the midfield, so our midfield's breaking down. And our fullbacks are way too defensive. We miss Valencia, and we've not really had it at left back all season. But we need. Lingard's not playing very well. Rashford's doing okay, but they're both being isolated because they're not getting any support from the fullback. We are just sitting back and inviting attack after attack after attack. And if you played like this against a decent team, it'd probably be 2 or 3-0 at the moment. But unfortunately, Hull probably haven't realised how much of an opportunity they've got here. Hopefully they will in the second half, and hopefully we'll turn it around and get it done. Gary Paul says Hull are the worst team in the league, and we are losing. Well, what are we actually missing? Who's missing from that team today? I wouldn't say Rooney's first team, so you can't say him. Mkhitaryan, yes. Valencia, yes. But apart from that, who's missing from that to make it our full first team? I think Martial should be in it, but we know he's been dropped. I think Luke Shaw should be in it, but he's not been using him. Mourinho's first 11 from the players that he's been using, it's his first choice midfield 3, it's his first choice attacker, it's his first choice defence at the moment, barring Bailly and Valencia obviously, and maybe Mkhitaryan's in his first choice team. So we're only missing 2 or 3 players, and we don't turn up. I need a drink of water. Tyrone Williams saying that Luke Shaw and Valencia would make a big difference. Valencia's been totally rested, so he won't be playing. Mkhitaryan for Lingard says this kid vlogs. Yeah, I hope we do make changes. I don't think he will. The one who needs to be subbed off, External 54, is Pogba. I love Pogba, but the last 3 games, it's not good enough. And you can't publicly criticise people like Martial, etc., who I don't think have been particularly that bad, and drop them, and then keep playing somebody who's massively underperforming. The fans aren't stupid, and they'll question that and say, why are you doing it? But on a more positive, if you look just above me there, we're on 64,909 subscribers. We are 90 off hitting the big 65,000. So if you are new to the United Stand or you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner and help us get to 65,000 tonight. That would be fantastic for the channel. And if you have just stumbled across us, you found something fantastic. I really do believe that. The United Stand, we grow through word of mouth and people stumbling on us. The United Stand community, global Manchester United fan channel, everybody's welcome. There is no grade of fan. There is no nonsense of, you've got to come from Manchester or whatever. We don't believe in anything like that. It's just passionate United fans, made for the fans, by the fans. You've got your live comments there all the time. Monday night live at 8:30. You can Skype in on the Skype Goldbridge show. Thursday night we've got our quiz show. Sunday night our weekend review at 8:30. There's daily content. Every Manchester United match an hour before the kickoff with the team news right the way through to full time. Get involved, join the community and chat about United. If you are new, very welcome, and I think you'll enjoy it. So get involved and subscribe, and let's get up to 65,000. But don't just watch tonight. Get involved tomorrow night at 8:30 and become part of it and get involved. That's what we want. Because the bigger we get, the bigger voice the United Stand and you, most importantly, the fan get. Because we are fan run. There is no agenda. We're not looking for interviews off players or anything like that. We're not going to be driven by what the club or the media or anyone tells us to say. We'll say it how it is. We were talking in the hour before the game about, I don't agree. Many of us don't agree with Jose Mourinho. As much as we love him and we think he's the right man, we don't agree with the way he publicly criticises some people and then never criticises others, i.e. Pogba, Fellaini, Zlatan, Rooney. Senior professionals, you could say, always get left alone. But young players who probably need an arm around the shoulder, like your Martials, your Luke Shaws, they get criticised in public. Is that right? Is it wrong? I think it's wrong. I don't really want to see anybody criticised. I don't want to see Wayne Rooney, Fellaini or anybody else criticised. But it really does. I think Anthony Martial should be part of this team tonight. I thought he should have been part of it against Stoke. And I've not seen anything in either of those games to make me believe that's wrong. So, he doesn't get everything right, and I think, as Lynn said, you know, his reluctance to drop certain players or sub certain players will start to come back and haunt him at some point, unless they start doing what they should be doing. You know, Pogba might hopefully have an absolutely superb second half, but if it's anything, if it's another 10-15 minutes of what we saw in the first half, he should be taken off. Give somebody else a chance. Right, I will get the clock ticking as soon as the game kicks off. It'll be underneath me, so you know. Drop a like on the video. In fact, we normally hit 1,000 likes. We're off. Second half is off. Timer's off. I've neglected that tonight. Please do drop us a like on the video as well. If you've subscribed, the next thing you can do, if you just click like on the video, let's get over 1,000 likes, because on a watch along, it's basically me and all your live comments. So you're liking yourself, and you lot make it good. Oreo says, I hope the hairdryer treatment has worked. Come on, Jose. And we are off. Shout me out, please, says Harry Abraham. Sorry. If we lose, then Mourinho needs to leave, says Gary Paul. I disagree with that, Gary. I think that's a bit too over the top. But we need a better second half. There's no substitutions, and hopefully we move the ball a bit quicker. I mean, we aren't moving the ball quick enough as well. Carrick into Herrera, into Pogba. Well, is that a penalty? It looked a bit like he slipped, to be honest, but it was a nice little bit of interchange between Herrera and Pogba. He's in the box, he tries to turn, and he ends up on the floor. And then Hull get a free kick. But let's have a look at this, see if it was a penalty. He's just an overweight. Looks like he's going to have a heart attack any minute, this ref. Right, let's watch it. Pogba. No, it's not a penalty. He could have got himself booked, to be honest. No, he should have been booked for that. You see, this is what people say. Oh, you just bias United saying it wasn't a penalty in the other game. Well, I can quite openly say that Pogba should have been booked to them. Say it how it is. Say it how it is. I had a message here from Caroline Anderson. She says we're playing no different to the. No, sorry. I can track the performances all the way back to Middlesbrough. I've been looking for a pattern, and that's when it started. I don't know really. I don't know what she's trying to say, to be honest. I suppose that we've not been playing that well. I mean, I suppose I meant against Middlesbrough, we didn't play that well, did we? Really, we came back from 1-0 down. Caroline Anderson, it's Moss. I'd suspect a coronary is out of the question. Is not out of the question. Come on, Pogba says gaming with Will. Pogba needs dropping, says Happy Ricks. Luke Armstrong wants the ref to break his legs. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers without any videos. Says we apparently are poised to get Bale and Griezmann. It was a lot more tough than Hull's. Some called Pogba equals Mark's scapegoat to get retweets on. Wawa FIFA 16 says Pogba is Mark's scapegoat to get retweets on Twitter. No, he's not. I back Pogba. I mean, lots of we've not really spoken about Pogba on this channel. Right at the start of the season, a few people wanted to say, "Oh, he's a flop." I said you can't really judge Pogba until he's been here for about 6 months, because it's a different league. He's the focal point of the team. And a couple of weeks ago I was saying he's the best midfielder in the league, and I still think that. I just think he's going through a bad patch at the moment. And can you afford to carry a focal point? It's a bit like Wayne Rooney for the last 3 years. I think we kept playing Rooney for 3 years, and he was the focal point of the team, and we suffered for doing that. And maybe we're going to do that with Pogba now. But I don't think if Pogba was taken off in 10 minutes because he doesn't improve, I'd still play him against Hull in the Premier League next year. Next week. He's a first team player. But tonight, it's not good. It wasn't. It was terrible against Liverpool. It was slightly better against Stoke. He did create chances, but I think, sometimes being taken out of the team is that little kick up the backside that you want. But maybe it's a bit like what we were talking about Schweinsteiger before the game. I cannot, knowing how good Schweinsteiger still is and has been, I can't for the life of me imagine a situation where Schweinsteiger's training with the first team and he's not better than Herrera and Fellaini. He is better than them, but he still doesn't get picked. And I think that's down to the ego of Mourinho. And you need an ego to be successful. Sir Alex Ferguson had one. But I think Mourinho's ego, he's just, I don't want to play Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger plays really well. And then the press are just going to rib me saying, oh, you got that wrong. You had him training with the kids and now he's running your midfield. And I think similarly, he doesn't want to drop Pogba because then he's going to get a load of stick from the press saying £89 million flop. So Darth Jar Jar's just said it, £89 million flop. If he starts taking him off, they're going to jump on his back. And Mourinho probably doesn't want that sort of thing. It's 1-0 to Hull. There's not been any goals. It's annoying to those that aren't watching the games as the Carrot fan. Yeah, okay. What I would say is, don't listen to this. Mad Marcus is on the live comments. He will just put people into timeouts who are putting up the fake scores. But as I always say, there's not been a goal, so just keep an eye on what I'm doing. We're so close to 65,000 subscribers, says Man United Fan 101. We are very close. We're on 64,974. Big landmark for the United stand to hit 65,000. So it'd be nice for us all to do that. Be nice to get 1,000 likes on the video as well. There's 2,000 of you watching. Please click the like button and let's get to 1,000. United on the attack here with Lingard. Slightly quicker movement in the second half. Corner. Waste of time. Another wasted corner. Another corner to United as well. This is why I would go into the transfer market, because we are so embarrassingly bad at corners that it's all right saying, "Oh, I don't need any defenders." Well, what you do need is a centre back who can win things in the air. We've had 3 corners in a row now. We're not threatening. Yes, it's all right saying, "Oh, you're happy with the squad." We've got nobody in the squad who can go and win a bloody header in the box. It's embarrassing. We must have. I think we've. I know we scored against Pogba. Pogba scored against Leicester, but the one before that was Schweinsteiger the season before. It's embarrassing. And another corner headed away. We are absolutely diabolical at corners. Now, why is that not a penalty on Smalling? That is disgraceful by the ref. So Smalling takes the first touch and then gets shoved over by Huddleston. If that's not a penalty, so that is just an absolute joke. Shoved over exactly the way Rojo does, and that's not a penalty. Oh my good God. I think I've been saying all season that the refs are against us, and it feels like there's a corruption conspiracy against us, and I just think that one is ridiculous. Listen healthily, you said it was a penalty to Hull, and you're saying that's not a penalty. Block him, Mad Marcus. Listen healthily can be blocked. He's just a total and utter wind-up, and people don't deserve that on the live comments. I remembered his comments about the Hull penalty, so he can go, because we don't need that idiots like that. You're more than welcome to come on and give us a bit of banter, but stupid comments like that are just not welcome. But the Rojo one, barely a penalty, and I don't think Smalling's, I can understand that not being given, But in the context of the penalty he's just given to Hull, that's a stonewall penalty on Smalling. And like Dominic says, I can't believe my eyes. I can believe my eyes now because it's just so bloody ridiculous. Every single game, the corrupt attitude of these referees it's beyond a joke. It's beyond a joke. It's like Smalling's one-on-one, pushes him over. But I mean, they're showing it back now. It's a penalty. That is a penalty. I mean, come on. I don't know why I'm trying to convince myself. I'm sort of repeating it to yourself. It's a stonewall penalty. Ridiculous. Is Rashford playing decent, says Lewis Burke. He's doing okay. Clark Kent, how's that not a penalty? Jack Shepherd just called me a retard. Marcus, you know what to do. I'm really beginning to get fed up with Mourinho, says Jay O'Neill. Tell us why, Jay, because I think we're all a bit fed up about the penalty. United have been better in the second half so far. It's a lot quicker. We're pressing better. We should have had a penalty. But there we go. There is consistency from the referees. It's consistently bad against United. That's your consistency. Free kick to Hull. Where's Martial? Sean Walker? God knows. Ridiculous. I don't agree with Mourinho on that. How are the United playing, says Abby. Not fantastically well, to be honest. I mean, it was a soft penalty for Hull in the first half, but they probably deserved to be in ahead because we played so badly. In this half, I think United have played better. We actually had a penalty, but it wasn't given. So we're still 1-0 down. He's not made any changes, which did surprise me quite a lot. But Zlatan does look tired, Sean Walker says. I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. I still think we'll win it. But the ref is an absolute cheat, says VK Dean. We need Messi, says Surgeon. Come on, Manchester. Bring Mata and Mickey on. We've hit 65,000 subscribers. Thanks to everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. All I'd say to you is, it is your channel. You share the moment with us. So congratulate yourselves. It's not about me or the people involved with the United Stand. It's you lot. And the bigger it gets, the bigger your voice gets, as I always say. But the most important thing I can say about that is, we're all very frustrated about that penalty. That's what's playing on my mind at the moment. I'm so glad that we do these shows so that we can actually share that frustration and vent and comment together, because if I was what it was like, maybe before we did the United Stand, if I was lucky, I might be at the game or at home watching it with a mate or two. But a lot of the time I used to watch games, I'd be sat there absolutely bloody furious on my own. So at least we get to share all that, and that's what the United Stand is about. It's about the Manchester United fans all over the world sharing their frustration, love and passion for Manchester United. So we do the watch-alongs every Manchester United game, but also please make sure you watch all our other content as well. We're pretty much live every night at 8:30 with quiz shows, Skype call-ins, and all sorts of stuff. All sorts. Sunday Night Review at 8:30 is always a heated show. Loads to get involved in. Make sure you get involved, because if you are new and you have subscribed, you've joined a fantastic community of what I believe are some of the best Manchester United fan opinion out there. Very intellectual lot you are, very good opinions and very passionate. So please get involved and enjoy. We're not necessarily enjoying it at the moment though. Sid FX says, notice me and Manchester United will win. Well, I've just noticed you. Abby says Rooney should come on. We should all be... Lynn Hall's just said, sooner we get Mickey on, the better. We should just Jake Eldstar's just subscribed to the channel. Thanks, pal. How many minutes have gone? We are just approaching the 60-minute mark, so half an hour to go. He should be making substitutions any minute. Who would you be thinking about bringing on? Personally, I still think we are. I said it at half time. The fullbacks are the problem. They're so defensive and they're not offering anything going forward. But whether you take 2 fullbacks off when you're probably going to want to make other substitutions, I do not know. I don't think Pogba's been great, but he's not going to take him off, so I'm not going to suggest that he does. There is a substitution now. I'd imagine it might be Lingard for Mkhitaryan. The thing about Mourinho is he doesn't take off the players that necessarily need to be took off. He takes players off where he wants to make subs because he doesn't want to take other people off. So I'd probably take Pogba off for Rooney and give Rooney a go, or Zlatan for Rooney and Mkhitaryan for Lingard. But what we'll probably see is Rashford off for Rooney and Mkhitaryan off for Lingard off for Mkhitaryan, and we'll probably see Fellaini come on for Carrick. Something ridiculous like that. I'm going to read this comment out because it's just so ridiculous and we've got a bit of lull in the game. Lee Carmen says, this channel has gone downhill. It's the Mark Goldbridge show. If opinions aren't the same as Mark, he disrespects it or even worse, blocks you for voicing your opinion. You've not been blocked, Lee. The channel has never been so interactive and we have Skype Goldbridge probably at least twice a week where you Skype in and dictate the show. We've always got guests on. It's not the Mark Goldbridge channel and we constantly... In fact, I've got my own channel for that sort of thing, so I don't need the United Stand for that. And I give my opinion and I read out other opinions. So I don't know what you're on about, Lee. Maybe you're somebody else in disguise. But your comment's not been not read out, has it? It's not been blocked. It's just an absolute idiotic comment, to be honest. And glad to read it out because that's not what the United Stand has ever been. And... I suggest that your name isn't Lee and you're probably somebody else trying to stir trouble off. Get Darmian off, says Ryan Smallwood, as does Terry S, as does Gung Shi, as does Darth Vader, as does Abajan, as does Tremendous Bishop, as does Lolcats. Darmian is getting it big time at the moment. Lee Carmen says, no, but you blocked someone for saying it wasn't a penalty. Damn right we blocked him, Lee. Damn right we blocked him. Do you want to know why we blocked him? Because he's not a Manchester United fan. Because he said it was a penalty for when Rojo gave the foul away. And he said it wasn't a penalty when Chris Smalling was fouled for a penalty. It's people coming on here making it unpleasant for other people. If you come on the live comments winding up our guests, our viewers on the live comments, you're going to get blocked. He's not a Manchester United fan. He's been at it all night. I said to Marcus, block him. It makes it far more enjoyable. It's like the people who post up the fake scores. They get put into timeouts. It's, if we let everybody just comment on the live comments, it becomes unenjoyable. We've got a service to offer on the United Stand with the live comments being part of the video, and we want that because we want you all to be a part of it. But if people come on and just want to try and wind people up and make it unpleasant, then they get blocked. And Lee, I don't think you're a Manchester United fan either. So carry it on, and we'll tell them to block you as well because you're just trying to destroy something that works and everybody enjoys. We're not here to wind people up. Don't try and ruin it. Lee has been blocked now. He's got the Manchester United badge, but he's clearly just there to cause trouble, so he's gone. Declan, I wish the FA got decent referees. Absolutely spot on. Hey Brun, you made me laugh with that comment. Time is passing by. We need to make some substitutions, folks. Desperately, we need to make some substitutions. What are we thinking? Al Jeffy Ray on Twitter saying that seriously our backline needs some serious work. So does our midfield, even attack. We still have lots of work to do. Do you agree with that? I mean, that's a bit of a scary thought, isn't it? We thought we'd sort of turned a corner. The last 3 games haven't been that good when you look at it. And you could even go further, like Caroline was saying, you know, can we go further back than that? We've been grinding results out, but has the football been good? That midfield 3 that we waxed lyrical about of Carrick, Herrera and Pogba suddenly doesn't look so good. Something's missing there. Joseph says he takes Zlatan and Pogba out. I'm surprised that we've got to 65 minutes in this game and we're not making a substitution. But I suppose we're in it. Oh, no, we're not. Yes! Pogba scored! 1-1. We breathe. You keep Pogba on, he scores as a goal. It was made by Rashford, really, and it fell to Pogba, who pokes it home. 1-1. I thought that was Jose Mourinho running up celebrating there. Fellaini forces himself in there, as does Juan Mata. But a bit important goal, probably puts us at Wembley. Fantastic, 1-1. Justice, I would say. Justice. Pogba scores, and it is justice. Because we should have had a penalty. Even a dodgy ref won't keep us from Wembley. Well, I think that pretty much will put us in Wembley, won't it? To be honest, but poked home by Pogba. Just a relief, really. It's not, you know, it's always the way, isn't it? I remember Wayne Rooney used to do that. You know, he might not have a great game, but produces something, and that's good from Pogba, because I said that at the weekend about it. You know, Rooney, in a way, he sort of showed Pogba the way for doing it, because Rooney scored the goal at the weekend. I didn't think he did a hell of a lot when he came on, but he got the goal. And if Pogba gets the goal that pretty much just puts us at Wembley, then we'll all take it. He's not been good tonight, let's be honest. He hasn't been good tonight, but maybe that's the sort of confidence he needs. I mean, at the moment, he's bombing forward. Everybody has been slightly better in the second half. They couldn't have been much worse in the first half, and we've been quicker. I did say 2-1, and here's Rashford in the left wing at the moment. Don't know what he's trying to do there. The ref's still shit. Jason Garbutt's just said, and I was moaning about Pogba. You and about 1,000 others, pal. You know, that's football. That's the great thing about football. We're never all right, are we? We feel like hypocrites when he scores a goal because we said he should have been taken off. But you know what? That's what football is. It's honest opinion. 2 minutes ago, you were right that Pogba probably deserved to go off the pitch. He then gets a goal. And you can, you know, to be honest, you could flip it the other way. If Pogba had gone off for Rooney, Rooney might have scored that goal. So, you know, it wasn't like it was a wonder goal where he's ran past 10 players. He's an attacking midfielder. The ball falls to him. He pokes it home. You know, great. But in a way, I'm glad that's happened. I didn't think Mourinho was going to take him off. Obviously, I'm glad it's happened because he scored anyway. But I'm glad it's happened because he might take a bit of confidence off that. Because at the moment, I think he probably is struggling a little bit. Dream. Somebody wants a Hull comeback. We're playing better the second half, Warren. Definitely. It's not been fantastic by United, but I did say in the first half, in fairness, that it's difficult for us because we're pretty much going to Wembley, aren't we? We're pretty much going to Wembley before this game even starts. And apart from turning up and playing badly and absolutely handing on a plate to Hull, I mean, let's not forget Hull needed 2 goals just to force an extra time, 3 to win it. You know, would have to be pretty shocking. And we were shocking in the first half. Let's not escape that fact. But I said 2-1 at half time. I think we'll win this game. I do, because I think Hull have got to go for it now. And I think they will. And hopefully we can hit them on the break a little bit. I am surprised we haven't made any substitutions, but I think we can get away with it now. The not making a substitution, that is, because Hull have got to score 2 more goals just to force extra time now. They're making a substitution. They'll go for it. Sorry, Abraham. I know I hadn't updated the score to your speed and liking, but I like to talk about things when they've happened, and you know, we can't all be robots. Miles Chapman says that Lingard's his man of the match. He's been better second half. I thought he was a bit crap first half. Fire Zeon says no team is frightened of Manchester United anymore. I think that comment's probably about 3 years, mate. I don't think we pretend that anybody is scared of us anymore. Let's not forget we have had 2 years of Van Gaal and 1 of Moyes. I don't think any team's been scared of us for a long time. We're trying to get back to teams being scared of us. So I don't think that you're not wrong. Teams aren't scared of us. I think hopefully they will start to become more scared of us. Herman says we need a win. I think we will win it. I'd said at half time. I don't think this game's going to end with a draw. Somebody's going to win it, and I'd fancy us. I can't see anyone warming up for Manchester United, Nicholas. No. I think in this second half, Herrera's been far, far better. He's pressed better. He's moved the ball better, and it's allowed us to just get forward a little bit. Of course, if we get to the final, we won't be playing Manchester City at the end of February because that's when the final is. Somebody's just saying there, why do you think we weren't making? Why do you think he wasn't looking to make substitutions before the game, before the goal? I think because the substitutions the people who were playing bad were players that he doesn't want to take off, like Pogba and Zlatan. He doesn't want to take them off, and I think Lingard started the second half far better than the first half, and Rashford's been dangerous. So he's normal players to take off. Lovely running by Zlatan. He went for the shot, probably a little bit greedy. Goal, kick, corner. Skinned 2 players, really. Here comes the up step up. 71. Is Carrick playing Louis Burke? Yeah, he's just doing the normal Michael Carrick thing, really, just running the midfield. Rooney looks like he's nearly ready to come on because he's got his shorts on, but he's still warming up. Oh, and he scored a corner. Do my eyes deceive me? Marcus Rojo with a header onto the bar. It was real, folks. It happened. It wasn't a dream. Marcus Rojo from a corner. We've had 5 attempts in the second half and Hull have had none, which is quite funny considering that Hull are trying to win this game. But, there we go. You know what I hate about Twitter that I think is just really basic is the fact that there's a lot of people on Twitter there. Unfortunately, we haven't done it on our Twitter account. People have obviously been saying Pogba needs to come off. He's not done anything today. And then everyone agrees with it. And then smug people will then go back 10 minutes after the goal and go, delete about those comments. When they were probably saying the same sort of thing themselves. Hull just shoot over the bar there. Mark, do you use a microphone or is it your laptop? I've got a microphone. Dream Dasher. Mark, what made you a Manchester United fan? Basically, my granddad was massively into Duncan Edwards in the 50s. And obviously the Busby Babes. And it sort of grew from there. And my mum was massively into George Best in the 60s. So, yeah, that's where it really started. Mark, any coincidence Stalling has come in and our defence looks very shaky? Nikhil says Rashford should play up front. Clark Kent is never going to play him ahead of Zlatan though. I mean, it's an argument in itself. It's his best position, but we have got Zlatan Ibrahimovic, so it's difficult. Do you like Rooney, says Warren. Good question. Yes, I do. I just don't like what he's been like for 3 years, and he used up a lot of patience with a lot of United fans over the last 3 years that I don't think he can get that back totally. But I haven't got a problem. I think I haven't got a problem with him. He's been far better the last couple of months than he's been for the last 3 years, and I think as a squad player he's very useful. I would have wanted him in the first team. No, I think those days are gone. I think it's not his fault. He's physically on the decline, and he shouldn't be in a Manchester United starting 11. But as a squad player, he'll still play 30 odd games a season. Whether he wants to do that, I don't know. Whether we should be paying somebody £300,000 a week to be a squad player is probably a more pertinent question for the money men at Manchester United. But no, I've got nothing against Rooney. A lot of people seem to think I'm a Rooney hater. I'm not. I'm just honest about players. In my opinion, anyway. I'm honest about what I think. We need Fellaini, says... Well, Fellaini lover says we need Fellaini. We don't need Fellaini. We'll probably see Fellaini because we'll probably try and defend our lead. I'd personally like us to just go and win the game. But it's gone... What's happened to the game now is now we've got that really important goal. It's sort of a bit like days of old with Mourinho and just grinding out results. Not United, but... he'll see this out just to get the result to get to Wembley now. Kian Gildio says 15 more minutes and we've won. Let us know where you're watching from. I've forgotten to do that today. Let us know where you're watching from. Whether it's Stoke, Liverpool, India, Cameroon, Alaska, Hawaii, wherever you're watching from, let us know. But we're going to Wembley, says Murray McCash. We are going to Wembley. They need 2 goals to stop us going to Wembley, and there's only 14 minutes to go. My mum did fancy a bit of George Best, Daniel Sheehan. She definitely did. Apparently, he kissed her hand at a football match when she was 15, and she didn't wash her hand for 2 weeks. Tramp. Another Wembley trip for the great Manchester United. Yes. Watching from Toronto, Canada, says Jeff. Dirt. Malaysia Islands, New Jersey, Australia, Jamaica, London, Finland, Ireland, Cheshire, Northern Ireland, Bangladesh, Scotland. Josh Hodgson's in Scotland, Birmingham, Finland, and a shot from Hull just wide there. Sri Lanka, Sweden, New Zealand, Oxford, Malta, Manchester, Sweden. I was just reading out and I missed this chance from Hull. It's half a chance. Not really much of a chance. He's on the penalty spot when he shoots, and a player gets a block in. Vancouver, Oakville, Norway, New Zealand, London, Oslo. Hull hit the bar from a corner and head wide. That could have made it interesting, to be honest. But it goes back to the point that I keep going on about. We're poor at corners and we're not very good at defending them either. That's Jones there beaten in the air twice. I mean, whatever you say about Phil Jones, and he's done well to not get injured, but over the last couple of months, Rooney's on. I'd missed that substitution. Rooney on, Lingard off. Don't criticise Rooney coming on because he'll probably score. Andromeda's from the centre of the earth. Nice one. Cornwall. I Littles. I'm glad you're watching, mate. I've heard that broadband can be quite poor down there. Kenya, Nepal, Norway, Trinidad, Indiana. Should have brought Mkhitaryan on. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Why are we bringing Rooney on at right wing when we've got Mkhitaryan? But don't second guess Mourinho. Saw a comment there. Paul Lucas. Nobody ever talks about how great Mark Hughes was. He was a very good player. Yeah, he was. Zlatan the Goat says he can see young talent leaving Manchester United. Let's see what happens. I think that's what the Sunday night show for at 8:30, and I think we will talk about it a little bit this week, regardless of what happens. I think we need to sort of revisit it again, what Mourinho is doing with the youth in general, not just young players like Shaw and Martial, but also the youth. Fosu Mensah's not getting any time, is he? I know it's almost like Jose thinks if I put them on the bench or talk about them maybe getting near the bench, that'll do. No, we actually use and play our youth players and give them a chance, especially when they're good. So talking about Twansibi being near the first team is all well and good, but I'm a bit cynical, maybe thinking that's more about, oh, what a run by Rashford. Good tackle by Hull. He went past two players down the right. Rooney's gone to the left. But I just think, well, maybe he's just mentioning Twansibi to sort of appease the fans a little bit. And he's got no intention of using. But hopefully, Wigan at home at the weekend, he will. Jack Strand, who's your favourite all-time Manchester United player? Roy Keane. There's a good question here because it was asked before, and I throw this to all you lot as well because you didn't reply last time. So Michael R says, would you consider it a good season with 2 cup wins but finish 5th in the league? The question originally from somebody else would you consider the FA Cup, the League Cup and 5th place a good season? And I said no, because we need to be in the Champions League, and basically FA Cup and the League Cup in 5th place gets you in Europa League. So that's not a good season. Even though we win 2 trophies, that's not a good season. However, if we finish 5th and we win the Europa League and the FA Cup, or the Europa League and the League Cup, that is a good season because the Europa League gets us in the Champions League. I think our season this year is judged on whether it's good or bad on whether we get into the Champions League. If we don't get in the Champions League and we win the League Cup and the FA Cup and come 5th, I think it's a valid argument to say at the end of the season, why did we pick our first team all the way through the League Cup? We didn't need to do it. We've got a massive squad. We could have used reserves. We didn't need, the League Cup, it's a nice thing to win, but it's nice to win if you've already got Champions League football. That's what I would say. The League Cup's great. We're going to Wembley, but winning it doesn't do anything for the Champions League, and that's what we need to do this year. That's where we'll be judged. But other fans might disagree and say, no, I'd be happy with the League Cup and the FA Cup and another season in the Europa League. Jack James saying that Rashford got slapped in the face. Oh, it's because he's causing him bloody nightmares, isn't he? "82 minutes. Hopefully we've got a winner coming out of this. Winner, chicken dinner." Rooney's moving the ball around, doing quite well since he came on. Rashford's just tearing this right back a new arsehole at the moment. It's tearing him apart. Into Pogba into the box. Be nice to get a goal. Offside. Nearly. Much better. We're moving the ball around better. Brendan Gorman's not happy. Most of our best players are on the pitch and we're struggling to beat Hull. Hull played quite well against Chelsea at the weekend. I watched them at Chelsea at the weekend, and I think Chelsea only won it 2-0. And it was 1-0 for a long time. Hull are much improved under this new manager. And we are away from home. And psychologically, it's been quite a difficult game to approach because we basically won it before it started. So you don't need to go gung-ho. So you can only play the game in front of you. And I know people go, oh, we're playing Hull and we should win 4 or 5-0 with this team. But it's never that simple. I think a better gauge of Manchester United against Hull will be a week last night, next Wednesday, at home in the Premier League to Hull. We should be beating them 3 or 4-0. To be honest, I'd take 1-0 now. We need 3 points. Ryuk's not happy that Sean Goss got sold to QPR. A lot of people fancying him as a Michael Carrick replacement. Might feed into a little bit what I said last weekend, that I'm not convinced that Jose Mourinho is a massive Michael Carrick fan. Let's not forget he didn't start using him until November. And I think it was more out of necessity than choice. He dropped him, didn't he, last week against Stoke? He took him off after half an hour. Hull have scored. They have scored. It's not offside. Oh dear. The critics are going to moan about this. Defensively sloppy. A lot of you were on about this. Let's watch it back. It's Rooney's fault. Rooney and Rojo. Not offside. Too easy. How many times have we been done down the left-hand side there? 2-1 to Hull, folks. We've got a corner though. Don't worry, folks. We've got a corner. Manchester United always score from corners. We always score from corners. Come on, score from a corner. We didn't score from a corner. I thought I'd lost my net. I thought I'd lost the internet then. 2-1, 5 minutes to go. They're going to go all out. Maybe we can get a goal ourselves. It's not been good, has it? It's not been good. It's been, I suppose, it's been entertaining because we've made it through. But it's not. We're going to lose our unbeaten record as well. That's disappointing, isn't it, everybody? Tell me the name of the scorer. I'll update the score. I just want this game over, don't you? Get it over. Get to Wembley and learn that you need to sort the problems out with Anthony Martial because this team's not good enough at the moment. It's not. Sam the man, I refuse to believe we hit the crossbar from a corner. I know we did. I'm joking, but it's. Do away goals count? Rojo's done it again. Silly tackle. I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think it was as bad as the other lot. They're trying to say it's two-footed. Let's watch. That's probably a yellow card tackle. He's a bit reckless. Who scored for Hull? I don't know. It's 2-1. They can have that. I'm not bothered. So how many do they need to score to get extra time? Or do we not have extra time now because it's away goals? Andrew Thompson saying, why no Mkhitaryan? I'm amazed we've only made one substitution in this game. On such, that's one of the things. I will be doing a match reaction. When this game finishes, we normally end the stream, and then I go and, go and set up a new stream and do a match reaction, which I will do. Niath scored it. Great. I don't think... I think away goals come into it in after extra time. I think it goes to extra time if they score. They only need one more goal. Yeah, Kwame said that. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying there, one of my big themes in the match reaction, if we get through, or even if we don't get through, is that I'm amazed that we've only made one substitution when we've been so bad in this game. They've crossed it and it's gone wide. If you're asking me now whether Hull will score, I don't think so. We deserve to lose, Mark. We all know it. We've been bad, says Minnie. Expect a totally different team against Wigan, says Surinder. Yeah, well, we will see a different team against Wigan because he's already said we'll see a different team against Wigan. What I would worry about is what team he's going to put out against Hull next week because this is, we're playing Hull next week. And this is not far being off our first team and nowhere near good enough again. I don't think we were very good against Liverpool. Well, we weren't. I don't think we were fantastic against Stoke. And I think, again, we've not been so good again today. It's he needs to do something. I just think, put your hand up if you were excited by this lineup today. And that says a hell of a lot, doesn't it? I wasn't excited about this team. Rashford a little bit, Lingard a little bit. But, he didn't play. There's not enough excitement in the team. Martial excites you. Mkhitaryan excites you. If he'd played Luke Shaw, that's exciting. Two defensive fullbacks. It's not exciting, is it? We came to this game to see it out, and we may well see it out, but it's not been an enjoyable watch. We've not played expansive football, but we have played expansive football under Mourinho. But tonight we've not intended to do that. I think it still will be enough. Hull are trying to get forward again, but they're coming through into our half now. Got plenty of players back, but they pretty much know that crossing is our issue. De Gea's got it anyway. Should be able to. It'd be interesting to see how many minutes there are left in the game. Bye-bye Wembley, says Darth Jar Jar. 3 minutes, not long. 3 minutes to Wembley. Unbeaten run gone, says Moji. In a way, I'm glad the unbeaten run's gone, because a lot of that unbeaten run has been based upon draws, and you know what? You can draw 6 games and get 6 points, or you can lose 3 games, win 3 games and get 9 points. So, you know, unbeaten runs, they're a bit like goal records. They don't really mean a hell of a lot, other than for the history books a bit later on. The immediate concern is, oh, surprise, surprise, Fellaini comes on. Wouldn't be the same without bringing that on, would it? For Rashford. So we're getting very defensive now. The tree is here, says CG Gilday. Southampton outplayed Liverpool low down. Fellaini's coming on. I think even with 2 minutes, I don't think even he can mess that up. Who are we playing next? We've got Wigan on Sunday afternoon in the FA Cup, which I am looking forward to, because hopefully, fingers crossed, we will see Luke Shaw. We will see Fosu Mensah. We will see Schweinsteiger. We will see maybe Rashford up front. He'd probably pick his best team again. Donkey's coming on, Mark. Herman, I am. Tree coming on. Jose favourite, your best player. We've spent hundreds of millions of pounds and yet we are struggling. Why? Says Yusuf Ali. And I'm not gonna massively overreact. I think tonight was we should have beaten Stoke at the weekend. I was very disappointed by that. I was very disappointed by the fact that we didn't turn up against Liverpool. But tonight, I just think we haven't turned up because it's just, they've just not got it out of their head at all that ultimately I think they felt that they are professional footballers on a lot of money, but even I felt that we were, not even I think most fans felt this game was won 2-0 up with the players that we've got. And whilst Hull have given it a good go, they've not really had a chance to make it 2, have they? And Pogba's just keeping the ball now. He's done very well. And we've got a corner anyway. So it looks like we're going to go to Wembley, and that's all it's about. I don't really understand that people might be getting a bit frustrated by it, but Rooney will take his time in this corner, and we'll go to Wembley. At the end of February, it's a game at Wembley, and that's a positive. And I think it's been difficult in some ways. The players should have done far better, but I just don't think they've ever got out the mindset that this game was pretty much won and we didn't really need to turn up. And I don't think we did. But they might have one last chance, Hull, here, although the 3 minutes are up. Come on. He's not blown up yet. Fellaini wins the header, that's what he's there for. Rooney tries to shoot, goes for a throw in. That should be it, ref. We're going to Wembley, folks. We're going to Wembley. Liverpool fans, if you have been watching there, I know Cropite Kieran watches. We've just done, so that's how you do it. That's how you win a game and get to Wembley. Unfortunately for yourselves, you won't be there. We will. We wanted to beat you in the final, but Manchester United at Wembley. We lose the game 2-1. We lose the unbeaten run, and I'm not too disappointed about that, losing an unbeaten run, because who cares about it? Who cares about it? We drew a lot of those games, like I said. I'd rather win games than draw them. And but the main thing, we're going to Wembley. We're going to Wembley. E-I-I-D-O. That's not even the song. But fantastic result for Manchester United. And it was a result tonight. I know there's going to be a lot of people not happy with that performance. And I sort of understand it. We did lose it 2-1. It was pretty much our first team. They could have done a lot better. But I just don't think they ever really got out of the mindset of, well, we've pretty much won this game. And you can't do that at any level of football, but you certainly can't do it at the top level of football. You've got to put the effort in. And I don't think we did. I think the team selection was wrong in the sense that we went too defensive and it invited Hull on. I think if we'd gone out of Hull a bit and moved the ball quicker, they wouldn't have been able to live with us. We sort of let them up towards the end of our box a lot with the defensive fullbacks. We missed Valencia a lot as well. But we're there. We did it. I just couldn't see, as bad as we were at parts in that game. And let's not forget, the referee gifted them a penalty and then didn't give us one for a worse foul. So again, the referee didn't help. But we probably deserved to lose the game, to be honest, 2-1. But were we ever going to lose... were we ever going to lose it by 3 clear goals? I don't think so. I don't think we were. So very, very happy to be going to Wembley. A shame to lose our unbeaten run, says Lynn Hall. So unnecessary, but hope it acts as a kick up the backside. We need to play much better, but we're at Wembley. Imagine if that was against Chelsea in a league game, we'd lose 4-0, says Heath. Yeah, but every game's every game, isn't it? I know, I understand that argument, but I don't agree with it, because every game is every game. Thanks everybody for watching. We've hit 1,000 likes on the video, which is always important because it's you lot commenting. You've been brilliant as usual. We've hit 65,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe. And I'm going to be doing my live reaction in about 5 or 10 minutes time. I'm just going to set it up, think about the game, and I'll do a live match reaction for that. So stay tuned for that, listen up. And also tomorrow night, as per usual, we'll be back at 8:30. If you found the United stand, make sure you visit it every day and make sure that you've clicked the bell so you get notifications when we're live. But I'm going to do my match reaction and I'll be through in about 5 minutes time. So I'll see you in a minute. Thanks everyone for watching. We're going to Wembley.